the sun shining at Fenway Park on an open house Saturday. Fans allowed to walk through, touch, and experience virtually every aspect of this ballpark. Championship trophies, former players, all very accessible today as the Red Sox open up and welcome everyone in for a little afternoon of baseball. HBC baseball showcase battle between NC Central University and Florida A&M University is what we're here to get ready for as the fans clear off the field and the baseball players get on the diamond. Tom Caron along with Steve Lyons, and even though the Red Sox are on the road, pretty cool baseball day here at Fenway for fans who get to come in free and watch some baseball.
Yeah, and if you're sitting and watching now, you still can come down and watch. It's an amazing situation for anyone who comes out here because of the access. They literally can go almost anywhere that Fenway has to offer. And I know they did this a couple of seasons ago, and they drew more than 54,000 fans. I think the organization believes they're going to get even more this year.
All right, these two teams coming in. There's baseball to play, but there's also experience to soak up. Most of these guys on these two teams have never been inside Fenway Park, maybe never been to New England, maybe never been north of the Mason-Dixon line.
Or on an airplane as far as that goes. I mean, some of these kids, obviously no one from either team has ever played in Fenway Park before. The level between all the players was unbelievable. We were down there trying to talk to some of them before the game. They wanted to go see the monster. They wanted to get to the monster seats. They wanted to have some fun.
So you get rid of that enthusiasm for the experience and you focus it on the game because these are late season games, very important games for both teams.
For both teams trying to make the playoffs here in their division. And of course, they played a doubleheader yesterday, and A&M won both of those games. So now that puts North Carolina behind the eight ball a little bit, but they feel like if they win today, they're going to be in the conference tournament.
Yeah, they are in the top three spots in their division right now. There's a four-way battle for the three playoff spots that come out of that. So it's a big game when the Rattlers take the field against the Eagles. The first pitch next on Nesset.
Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Opening ceremonies going on here at Fenway Park for the open house and the HBC showcase game featuring the Florida A&M University Rattlers against the North Carolina Central University Eagles. Tom Caron and Steve Lyons with you here high above home plate. And this game has been a long time coming, a long process. Bring us to where we are today with this game being played, Steve. Something the Red Sox were very interested in getting involved really from the day they came in 2002 and took over. When they did, they were well aware that the Red Sox had a great and storied history in many respects, but they also knew that the club's reputation for connection with the African-American community was part of the good story. They were the last team to integrate. Pumpsie Green not playing until 1959, a full 12 years after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in 1947. So the club sought to fortify relationships all over Boston when it first came in 2002. The Red Sox then teamed up with late Mayor Thomas Menino to form the Boston Area Church League with Saturday doubleheaders in the summertime, pastors, coaching, police, officers, umpiring, and district attorneys volunteering, 400 to 600 kids taking part, even playing here at Fenway Park in September. So that model led to this showcase game today. The team and the organization looking to find 2 baseball teams from historically black colleges to play at Fenway Park from the South, and these are the 2 teams you'll see today. North Carolina Central University out of Durham, North Carolina, Florida A&M University out of Florida, playing in Tallahassee, as these 2 teams get ready to go. And the first pitch is going to be part of the ceremony right now. You'll see the 2 head coaches come out to be part of it. Jim Kerner, the head coach, Jamie Shoup, the head coach of Florida A&M, Jim Kerner, the head coach of North Carolina Central. But great experience for these 2 teams to be part of, Steve, but obviously a great event for the Red Sox to bring here in Boston. Well,
absolutely, for the kids to get a chance to play in Fenway Park. It's something that almost nobody gets that opportunity to do, especially when you're Southern schools. And some of these kids, as we mentioned before, haven't been out of the state. They've never been on an airplane. They certainly have never been to Fenway. But also bringing the awareness to some of the kids here in Boston to give them possible options to think about that maybe they may go to school at one of these schools, not just only in your backyard. There's other places where you can go.
Right down below us in the EMC Club, there is a college fair going on with many of the historically black colleges and universities being represented. I was down there milling about for a little bit. Lots of high school students from throughout the area looking through the college fair, looking at some of the options that you might not know about otherwise. A great opportunity for the Red Sox to use this free day at Fenway Park to open some doors, maybe open some eyes from some kids who are thinking about college and where they might want to attend.
Yeah, and if you are a student in high school looking to go to college, it just broadens your horizons to look at all the other options that may be available to you. Heck, pick up a pamphlet, do some reading, look around. You know, these may be a couple schools that you never thought of before, and it kind of gives you an opportunity to make a full thought process really before you make a choice of where you're going to go.
Yeah, 25 historically black colleges and universities from all over the eastern seaboard, from Alabama and Mississippi to Charlestown and Roxbury, part of that event downstairs. And again, the whole idea is to make sure that kids in Boston know these options are available as they pursue a college education. So you trade the lineup cards now as we get down to the historically baseball moments here. And we'll take a look at the 2 lineups that'll be battling in this late season Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference game. For the NC Central University Eagles, it'll be Mitchell McCrary leading off. He's been struggling of late, 2 for 12 in the last 3 games. Devin Sweet, who's the pitcher, will also be his own DH because he's one of the best hitters on the team, hitting .348, best average on the team. Carlos Ortiz, number 34, because another guy he knows by the name of Ortiz wears number 34. He'll be batting third, 9 home runs, already the modern era record in a single season at NC Central University. Ronald Thompson, the cleanup hitter, ahead of Christian Triplett, Eric Kimber, Conrad Kovalchuk, Trevor Teason, and Jake Cagle. Your lineup today. Cagle only playing in his 7th game as they make a couple of tweaks to the lineup that was swept in the doubleheader by Florida A&M yesterday.
Yeah, and we talked about the importance of these games for both of these teams, and it was a really kind of a wild day for these ball clubs yesterday. They were supposed to play a doubleheader against each other at Jim Rice Field right here in Boston, but they kind of determined that the field really wasn't ready to play. The mound hadn't been worked on really yet. It wasn't college baseball ready. So they called Pawtucket. They said, hey, is there any possibility that we can go down there and play? There is Jim Rice Field there.
Where's Steve Lyons Field? That's a little further down the road?
Yes, way down the road.
Under construction. Yeah. The site under construction. But what a great job by everybody scrambling and getting down to a terrific venue. Obviously, McCoy Stadium down in Pawtucket.
Yeah, and then, of course, A&M came up big down there. They won both of those games. And so now you're looking at North Carolina Central really needing this win today to kind of squeeze into the conference tournament.
3 teams from this division will get into the playoffs. The Mideast Athletic Conference Southern Division, and there's really 4 teams battling for it. Now, right now, Florida A&M is holding on to the 2nd spot. Their magic number is 2 to make the playoffs. North Carolina Central, a little tougher battle ahead. They're 12-10, but they've only got 1 more game in conference play after today. That's a makeup game. Behind them is Savannah State. So you can see, even though they are currently, a couple games back of NC Central, Savannah State has 4 more games to play. So NC Central really needs a win today, because a loss today, and they're really going to be crossing their fingers to wait to see what Savannah State does next weekend.
Yeah, they were actually lucky that they did get some help within the division. North Carolina A&T won a couple of ball games too, so it didn't hurt them that bad that they got swept in the doubleheader, but they certainly would have preferred.
All right, a moment where the Florida A&M team is huddling up team with their coach down to the first base side in front of the home dugout. They're the home team, so they get the Red Sox dugout, which is pretty exciting. Florida A&M gets ready to go under Jamie Shoup, the head coach, 2nd year. Last year, in his 1st year, he was the MEAC Coach of the Year as he led them to a 26-win season. 1st year, they were 500 or better since 2003. And this is a Rattlers program, Steve, with a pretty good history. Andre Dawson, Hal McRae, Vince Coleman, Marquise Grissom, some pretty successful major leaguers, including a Hall of Famer in Dawson, have come out of the Rattlers program.
Yeah, it's nice to look back and see some of these schools and see the history that they have. And I think when you get to the big leagues, you're like, where'd this guy come from? And you tend to forget sometimes, but it's nice to go back and look and see some of the good players that came out of this program. That was a smart move by Shoup right there, kind of going over the grounds rules with his players. They never played here before, and they talked to the umpires there at that meeting when they exchanged cards, and then he went back and explained some things to his team.
You kind of think of that moment in Hoosiers where he goes out and measures how high the hoop is, even though you're in the big stadium. The basket
still 10 feet.
10 feet up. This is a cavernous stadium compared to what a lot of these guys have ever played in, and yet 90 feet down the line, everything is the same. So you want to try to calm these guys down and just go out and play the game you've always played.
Yeah. That after the first pitch is thrown, the wonderment starts to go away. We were down there talking to both teams before this thing started a couple hours ago, and both coaches were encouraging his players to go up and sit on the monster seats, go and look at the green monster, walk around the stands, take it all in, smell the roses a little bit. But once the game starts, we got to get back to focus on what our job is here.
All right, Florida A&M is the home team. We're getting ready to go here as you take a look at the defensive lineup here. They are the 2nd best fielding team in the conference, 958 on the season. And behind Ryan Anderson, the pitcher, you're going to have Jeremy Barlow behind the plate, Birds over at first, Wong at 2nd, Elkins and Kennedy the left side of the infield, Gibbs, Walker, and Jackson are the outfield today. And it's a couple of freshman pitchers in this one today. Ryan Anderson will make the start. His 8th start of the year, 12th appearance, looking for his 1st win. Big 6'1", 165-pound right-handed pitcher out of Brandon, Florida. All but 3 members of this roster are from the state of Florida, so they obviously recruit heavily within the state. Umpires for this game today, it'll be Rick Eckrod behind home plate, Charles Bruce at first base, and Vince Cragier over at the 3rd base side. Sunny day, some cloud cover here. We are ready for Division I NCAA baseball. And the first pitch catches the outside corner for the first strike of the game. As the freshman Ryan Anderson, he throws mid-80s, but he's got a heavy 2-seamer that he'll rely on, try to pitch to contact and get some quick innings.
Yeah, that pitch right there is what he's going to feature. Sinking fastballs down and away from the lefties, maybe in on the kneecaps of a righty. He's still trying to, as most young kids, this kid's a freshman, still trying to develop a changeup so that he has something off speed to go with his arsenal.
Got ahead of Mitchell McCrary, the leadoff hitter for the Eagles, quickly 0-2, but McCrary will take a ball there. He's hitting .304 on the season, but like most of this Eagles team struggling of late, 2 for 12 over the last 3 games, and he begins the game. Backer that Anderson plays cleanly for the first out of the game. If Anderson's going to be successful, those are the kind of at-bats he's going to want to try to induce. Ground balls, get ahead of them so that they're forced to swing in pitchers counts and make the most of that two-seamer.
Good defensive infield behind him, so just make him swing the bat, make him hit the ball somewhere, and then get your outs with the help of your D.
Strike to the right-handed hitter, Devin Sweet, the freshman who will be pitching for NC Central, is also one of their best hitters, leading the team with a 348 batting average. That one misses outside. 1-1, the count to Sweet. On ahead of that one, Sweet rips that one into the seats on the third base side. So Anderson again ahead here, 1-2 the count.
Pretty unusual situation when you look at Sweet being your starting pitcher, also hitting for himself, one of the best hitters on this team. Bounces around and plays in the infield, a lot of third base when he's not pitching. Generally, you get to college, you usually find guys starting to make a choice. Am I going to be an everyday player or am I going to be a pitcher? Because this is the time in my life where I'm really going to have to concentrate on what I want to do with the hopes of maybe getting drafted.
Elkins handles it at short, picked out of the dirt by Birdsong for the second out of the inning. Nice pick there by the first baseman, Birdsong.
This is a good-looking play right here. Third baseman can't get it. You go backhand to the shortstop. Short arms it just a little bit, but then the sweet pick by Birdsong say, yeah, all right, thanks for picking me up right there.
So with 2 outs, that'll be the big hitter on this NCCU team. NC Central's Carlos Ortiz leads the conference with 9 home runs. He's 39th in the nation in Division I baseball with those 9 home runs. Swing and a miss there for the first strike. His next home run will make him the first hitter in NCCU history with double-digit homers.
I might have to think about going the other way here in this yard. Big right field. Obviously, we know that here playing in Fenway. Of course, what do you think his nickname is?
Is he Big Poppy or is he Little Poppy? There you go.
Poppy.
He wears that 34 like David Ortiz. An Ortiz in a 34 at Fenway Park usually is a pretty good combination. And he's had a monster year with the power numbers. 31 RBI is second most in the conference. Leading the team. He's got that 308 batting average, but he's 1 for 10 over the last 3 games. Oh, 2 pitch, well outside.
Yesterday just had to be a kind of a brutal day for these two teams with some of the traveling they had to do. It's not a long ride down to Pawtucket, but no one was expecting it.
Fly ball center field. Under it is Walker. He'll make the catch in a 1-2-3 first inning for Ryan Anderson. We are scoreless as the Rattlers get ready to come up in the bottom of the first. HBC showcase game here at Fenway Park this afternoon. Bottom of the first. No score after a 1-2. Top of the first. Florida A&M now looking to pick up another win and make it a 3-game sweep of North Carolina Central. Jared Walker being leading off. He had the big day yesterday. Walker a combined 7 for 8 in the doubleheader sweep.
It's a good week.
That's a good week for most guys. Alec Wong, good hitting second baseman. Marlon Gibbs is the left fielder. Ryan Kennedy, the top home run producer for the Rattlers. He'll be the cleanup. A.J. Elkins, Michael Birdsong, Brian Davis, Jeremy Barlow, and Peter Jackson is the right fielder. Devin Sweet on the mound for the Eagles. He struck out 40 batters on the season. That is the 10th most in a single season in NC Central history. He's also walked 25, which is the most on the team, and he also leads the conference with 13 hit batters, which is 7th most in the nation.
Look out.
Not pitching to contact is what we're getting at here.
Unless you're the hitter standing in the way.
Might be a little bit of contact there.
Well, he's got a long way to go. They do really like his poise on the mound, but as we talked about before, we're talking about young kids playing this game at a high level. D1 college ball.
Just a freshman, as we said, making his 10th start of the season. Jared Walker, who had the big day yesterday, quickly ahead 2-0.
Sweet will run that fastball up there, 86 to 88. His best pitch by far, though, is his changeup.
Walker looks to bunt, and that's part of his repertoire. As much as Walker's been able to get on base, he'll drop that bunt for a base hit at any time. challenge the field to make the play. Catching the inside corner there. First.
I think both teams acknowledge that Walker may be the fastest player on the field today. Both teams.
And Walker draws a walk to get on base. So Walker walking up the first base side. Check out the North Carolina Central defense behind Sweet today. Behind the plate, it'll be Kovalchuk catching, triplet the first baseman, Cagle, Teason, and Kimber the infield, McCrary, Ortiz, and Thompson your outfield. Second ranked defense in the conference, 963 fielding percentage as a team. And here with a man on, Alec Wong fouls one off. Talking to Alec Wong a little bit before the game down in the dugout, one of those rattlers who was pretty excited to get their picture taken on the dirt and get a picture taken in front of the Green Monster.
Well, this kid gets mistaken for the bat boy a lot of times on this team. He's so tiny, but they say a surprising pop for a little guy. Earlier this season, he had a walk-off home run. Can't hit the ball out of the park. The gaps.
5'6", 160-pound junior out of Rockledge, Florida, in Polk State High School. Long fouls it off there, so 1-2 the count.
I got to be thinking that Walker's got to possibly be thinking about stealing a base here. This is typically a count where you might get a breaking ball. You try to get a hitter to chase.
The 1-2, but back to first. Walker dives in ahead of the throw from Sweet. Sweet looking in. Outside, ball 2. Florida A&M has won 4 of its last 7 games, including the 2 wins yesterday. One of those losses, a 3-2 loss to Auburn. Big-time SEC program as Coach Jeremy Shoup continues to put teams like that on the stage. Last year they shocked 6th-ranked Florida with a win. Beating the Gators 4-3. Now the count is full.
Over the last few seasons, both of these programs have kind of come out of the dark ages, if you will. Jamie Shoup's really turned this program around. 4 seasons ago, they only won 7 games. Routinely in the 20s now.
Shoup was an 8th-round draft pick of the Houston Astros back in 1982. His pitching coach, Brian Henry, was a 1st-round draft pick of the Arizona Diamondbacks and one of the most successful pitchers ever out of Florida State. Shoup's alma mater. 3-2 pitch from Sweet. Wong pops it up. Cagle under it. Oh, off his glove, but he'll have time to get the force over at second. And so the end result, with the 3rd baseman covering, is something you would score 4 or 5 on the force.
And actually worked out really well for him. You have Wong on the bases now who hit the ball. You take Walker with the excellent speed off the bases. This is just kind of a muff. Was up in the air for a long, long time. You see Walker coming back to first, and then he just misjudged it. But now he can just take his time. Walker is going to be forced out at second base.
Little bit of a tough sky with the cloud cover the way it is right now. A little bit hazy here. A little bit of a chill in the air, but that's nothing new in the spring of 2015. And it probably feels a lot worse to the guys from Durham, North Carolina and Tallahassee, Florida than it does for those of us who've survived the winter here. 54 degrees, you can see, 14-mile-an-hour wind. It was much colder yesterday in that game down at Pawtucket. The doubleheader, both wins going to Florida A&M. Fouled off by Marlon Gibbs. Gibbs hitting .282 on the season, the left fielder, with a home run and 27 RBI, leading the Rattlers in RBI. 1 out, 1 on, inning action here at Fenway Park. Sweet misses outside, count is 1-1. Marlon Gibbs was a season first-team selection in the MEAC All-Star balloting.
He's also been chosen the Player of the Week 2 different times so far this season.
Wong dives back to first. Gibbs scored the game-winning run in the season opener against Marshall. Nice way to start the season. 3 for 4 with that RBI and a run scored. One and one the count here, and it'll hit him.
Well, didn't take long for that to happen. What's that, number 14?
The 14th batter hit by a pitch by Devin Sweet this season. So 2 here, 1 out, and the cleanup hitter Ryan Kennedy will be stepping up to the plate with a good opportunity here to get something going for Florida A&M.
Well, this is the guy right here in Kennedy that they really look for some team leadership. He's the guy that kind of gets things going for this team. We know he can hit the ball out of the yard. 5 home runs.
All right, so 2 on, 1 down here. Here's the pitch from Sweet. Ground ball fouled off there. So again, you get the cleanup hitter Ryan Kennedy, leads the team with 5 homers on the season. And all of a sudden, the freshman Devin Sweet got a pitch out of a jam here. Kennedy steps in. Sweet looks in now. Catches the side.
That's what he's got to do there, is kind of go back to his bread and butter. His best pitch is a changeup. Use it in that situation. You can either get a called strike, a swing and miss, or a potential double play ball.
2 count, looks in. Again, Sweet with 40 strikeouts, leading the Eagles on the season. Breaking pitch just misses, ball 1. Good crowd making its way into the seats here at Fenway Park in this open house. Everything free to the public today. The open house began at 10 o'clock this morning. And the showcase game, part of that open house. 1-2 pitch from Sweet. Runners going inside, and no throw, so both runners advance. So now scoring position.
Well, you got to take advantage of your speed. I mean, good way to stay out of a double play situation, get guys on the move, and there's not even a throw right there. Another changeup on the inner half. Got to really like the way Kennedy's approaching his at bat here. He's just very still. Nothing's fooled him. He looked at a breaking ball, spit on it because he didn't like it. He just watched that pitch go by. Seems like he's kind of zeroed in this at bat.
The pitch from Sweet just misses down low. So now Kennedy able to work the count full. 1 down here in the bottom of the first, no score. Men on second and third for the Rattlers. Sweet looking in. Here's the full count pitch. Gets him with a called third strike as Kennedy takes that one. And we'll have 2 down now.
I thought he was looking zeroed in, but I guess he just didn't want to swing the bat. This pitch is right down the middle on a full count. He might have been sitting on that changeup again. He gets a fastball and he can't pull the trigger.
And that'll bring up A.J. Elkins. Elkins hitting .248 on the season, the shortstop with a homer and 13 RBI. Sweet missing outside. 41st strikeout registered for Devin Sweet. And again, we talked about it. He has control issues at time, but he's got swing and miss stuff. And with 2 men in scoring position, a huge strikeout there, even though it was called third strike. Kennedy looking at that one.
That's what makes him kind of tough to face, because you can't really figure out if he knows where he's throwing the ball. He's kind of effectively wild within the strike zone.
Effectively wild?
Effectively wild within
when you
the
get the strikeouts, it's effectively wild.
Yeah, you drill the guy in front of you, strike out the next guy.
When you hit the guy, though, that's ineffectively wild.
Yes. 14 times.
Got a ball and a strike here as Elkins tries to make something with 2 outs, just missing down low. So it's 2-1 now to Elkins. Count. Ball to short. Handled there by Thiessen across the diamond for the out. And so Sweet pitches out of the jam. 2 runners stranded. No score here. All kinds of fun in this open house. We'll come back, talk with the mayor of Boston, Marty Walsh, with us here right after this. We are back here at Fenway Park, an open house Saturday, and the HBC Showcase game going on between NC Central and Florida A&M. Joining us is the mayor of Boston, Marty Walsh. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Great
Good to see you.
Yeah, talking with the Red Sox, the idea to have this event in Boston was something that resonated from the mayor's office through the organization. Tell us a little about getting this game to this field.
Incredible, just having these 2 teams play here and what it stands for in the city of Boston, and really, you know, as a city, I was talking downstairs to some people about really pulling the city together and having 2 traditionally black baseball colleges playing baseball here at Fenway Park for the first time on today, especially open house for Fenway for fans to come in here and see this beautiful place.
Did a little walking down through the college showcase. You got 20 historically black colleges and universities opening their doors and maybe opening some eyes to some kids from Boston. How important is that aspect of all
So important
this?
for Boston, you know, in our high schools, giving young people the opportunity, young kids of color the opportunity to go to colleges and get outside of Boston and experience what it is to go to college outside of the city. We have great colleges in this city, very competitive colleges, and sometimes our kids that go and live in Boston have a better chance of going outside of Boston. And it's also a good thing, I think, for them to explore and understand America and the world.
Politically, certainly this over the years since '02, how it's evolved from the old church leagues is amazing, but it must be even easier for you to get behind it because of your love of the game as well.
No, true, and the church leagues are incredible. You know, and today I was at 3 opening days, Little League opening days, and I'm going to go to a couple more tomorrow, and I used to be the president of 7 Little League, so this is a great game, and I say it, you know, whether they're in the minor league or major leagues, in the Little Leagues, or in the major leagues, the game doesn't really change.
It's exactly
the same game.
Yep.
You know, as far as strategy, it's the same strategy, and it's important. And I think having this game here today, and I do love baseball, and you know, I love all sports, but baseball this time of year is incredible.
You have a sore arm with all those first pitches you've been throwing out today?
Actually, I actually at Mission Hill, I grabbed the baseball bat and did some grounders for the kids.
First hit instead?
It was great. It was really good.
I want to bring up your experience with Savin Hill because you get to be part of events like, you know, a Boston Red Sox opening day. But there's something special about opening day in Little League when kids come back in their uniforms, especially after the winter we had, for everyone to get up and play baseball.
And you know, and they come in with little perks like their favorite baseball player, and you know, they might tuck the uniform in differently, or have the socks on, or they try to, you know, have the bat and glove on, and they're acting like, you know, like the stars of today. So it is great to see, and it's great to see the spring and summer coming here to Boston.
How many Boston kids tugged their gloves because of Nomar all those years?
Yeah, you know, and you know, some of them still do it because it just caught on, you know.
Fenway Park is such an historic treasure to have in this city, and you know, you see it again through the eyes of a couple of teams that have never been to something like this, and they're coming out to the picture. How important is this ballpark in sort of the landscape that is Boston?
Oh, it's tremendously important. I came here for the walkthrough before the season started, and I was out in the bleachers, and I was looking out into the field, and it took me back to being a kid. Just every time you walk in this park or walking up one of the concourses and walking in here, you think about, you know, as I was growing up, I was doing in my head the day I was here, Denny Doyle at second base, George Scott at first, Rick Burleson at short, and I believe Butch Hobson. I think Hobson was, I know he played third, but I think he was the third baseman. You know, Fred Lynn, Evans, and Rice in the outfield, and Carlton Fisk behind the plate. I mean, that's my team growing up.
That's who you identify with.
Well, Montgomery's also
Montgomery's back there.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking earlier about, you know, the 2 historically black colleges that we're watching to play today, and we talked about the fact that the Red Sox organization was the last major to integrate. And so how important is what you're doing here and what's been going on with this today, just for the region of New England and the city of Boston?
You know, it's really important. You know, when I took over as mayor of the city of Boston, A lot of talk about Boston being a majority people of color city now, and a lot of discussions on how am I going to build up my team and how am I going to build up the workforce. And then when you think what the Red Sox have done, really have done a lot since their foundation and have changed in a lot of ways. And having this game here today, I don't want to say it's a message, but it's a powerful statement. It's a powerful statement out, not just to Boston, but around the country as well. And also, what an opportunity to give these young players a chance here to come to Fenway Park. They chose their schools to play baseball. I don't think it was on their mind that they're going to come to Fenway Park.
Long fly ball, and that is gone. Home run. So it hit the pole there, and we've got our first home run of the game, as it'll be the long home run. That was kind of an old Kevin Millar home run where you just roped it over to the foul pole in left field. And it's a 3-0 lead on the home run for Christian Triplett.
Triplett has no chance of sleeping tonight.
Oh, no. See his face coming down third base there?
Just the biggest grin on his face. This ball was hammered. From our vantage point, it was a little tough to see if it stayed fair, and there was no indication from the umpires, but the third base coach was saying, yeah, that's out of here, that's gone.
I was looking for the reaction from Triplett himself, and he played it pretty cool until he got around third base, and then he realized he was coming home.
Absolutely, the smile on his face was incredible. And I mean, again, and that opportunity that, when he went to college, he wasn't thinking he was going to come to Fenway Park and hit a home run.
Yeah, that's a 2-run home run, of course. Yeah, I got to ask you, can't be an easy job, the long hours and what you go through, but one of the great things about being the mayor of Boston has to be the success of all these teams. So we all time where there were long stretches where we didn't get this.
Thank God the Patriots won the Super Bowl before 10 feet of snow we got. And last year, we had a tough season for the Red Sox, and it was my first year as mayor. And this year, the start they've had is absolutely, people just are happy.
Yeah.
And I just want them to keep going, and it's good stuff. Awesome, we're competitive, and obviously we like to win, and we're used to winning now. When I was a kid, we didn't win, but we're certainly winning now, so we want to keep that tradition going now.
Yeah, I started here in 1994. We were in the middle of that stretch from the '86 Celtics to the '01 Patriots. We didn't win anything.
It was tough.
And now you go 18 months and people start to complain that we haven't had a championship
in 18 months.
A year and a half.
When you go through a tough winter like what we saw here in Boston, and in the offseason I spent a lot of time out in California, but this is what going through a tough winter and living the way you have to live here and fighting for almost everything you get, that's what makes the Northeast so great when it comes to sports, because these people, they know what it is to be passionate about their sports, whereas on the West Coast they're like, we might go to a game today, who knows, we don't really care who wins.
Yeah, I went to a Cubs game a couple years ago in Chicago, and it's just incredible, like being there in the second inning, third inning, everyone's kind of just talking and enjoying themselves. Here, the second inning or the ninth inning or the seventh inning, if the Red Sox are down by 9, it's every pitch, every bat, what's going to happen here. So there is a lot more intensity in our sports up here in Boston.
And they're telling you 3 guys in Pawtucket who are hitting well and who should get
they should get up here, yeah.
They're not messing
They know
around.
everything.
I remember Brady, they wanted to trade Brady after the 3rd game of the season this year. Thank God we didn't.
Yeah, that pretty well. That's right. When they were 2-2, it was like, let's move next quarterback. Well, we're glad they didn't. Mayor, thank you so much for coming on. And I just want to ask you finally before we let you go, the overall idea, not just of having the showcase game in the college showcase downstairs, but to have this open house where anybody in the city can come by. How important was that to be part of long festival?
It's certainly, there's a lot of people, a lot of families in Boston that live below the poverty rate that can't afford to get a ticket in here, and sometimes the Red Sox are very generous. They give tickets out to Boys and Girls Clubs and YMCAs and different organizations, but there's a lot of parents that can't bring their kids to a baseball game, can't afford to, and today they have a chance to, fathers and mothers have chances to bring their sons and daughters here to get a piece of Fenway and get a historical perspective of this beautiful place, and it's as important as a game day. And I think that as I walked in here today, I'm looking at people look around. This is a ballpark, but it's also a museum, and it's incredible for people to just see their face light up when they come up to concourse and look out and see the Green Monster. It's just it's spectacular.
And a lot of kids today, kind of a different vibe, because a lot of young families are bringing their kids here where maybe you don't want to spend the money to sit through 9 innings.
No, absolutely. And the Red Sox organization, they're just absolutely incredible. They just do so much for the city. And again, today is just another way of opening up the park for all the people of Boston, but also the park so we can see history being made on the field today.
Mayor Walsh, we appreciate you spending some time with us.
Thank you.
Enjoy the day, and may you have many more parades to plan along the way.
Yes, true. Thank you.
Marty Walsh, Mayor of Boston, with us here on a great day at Fenway Park, and got to be with us for the first runs of the game. The home run from Christian Triplett, the first baseman, making it a 0-0 lead for North Carolina Central as they try to snap their 6-game losing streak, extended by the doubleheader sweep of Florida A&M yesterday. Trevor Tyson up now with 1 out and 1 on here in the top of the second.
Got him picked off here.
Got a lot of space over there. The snap throw, and they got him. So diving back to first base. But the good throw there from Barlow is in time to get Kovalchuk and the second out of the inning.
I'm not sure what Kovalchuk was doing. It looks like he's thinking about getting it looked like he was thinking about delayed steal, and he delayed so much he forgot to steal.
That's just the delay.
Yeah.
That's all that was. And a ball there to in. So with 2 outs, they get a runner back aboard. Inning started off with a walk. The second walk of the inning. So third walk is back-to-back. As Kovalchuk walked, but then erased on that throw when he got caught straying way off the base. Now the number 9 hitter, Jake, second baseman, will be looking for his first hit of the season. Just playing his 7th game, 0 for 18 on the season here. And the first baseman, Birdsong, coming over to have a word with Anderson.
The reason why that looked a little bit like a delayed steal to me with Kovalchuk was that a lot of times on a delayed steal, what you do is you take 3 hops off the bag, and then you take off running. What you're hoping to do is catch the middle infielders sleeping, because the middle infielders will peek over at you when the pitch is being thrown, so it doesn't look like you're going anywhere. And then they need to peek back over at you after the ball crosses home plate. If they don't, that's when the guy's taking off, and he ends up stealing the base with nobody covering. That's what a delayed steal is designed to do, get either your catcher or your middle infielders to fall asleep. And if they react and they do things the way they're supposed to do, you're going to be out.
And so now, after Birdsong came over to have a conversation with Anderson, the catcher Barlow is out having a conversation. Timothy Recker up in the bullpen. Just the second inning, and we've already got action in the bullpen.
And a lot of the guys that are going to come out of the bullpen are sidewinders, they're submarine ballers. He said, we don't have a lot of velocity out in our pen, so we're trying different things. Different arm angles for some of our guys, so you'll see the ball coming from everywhere.
Cagle fouls one back there. The bullpen was terrific yesterday in the doubleheader sweep. 7 2/3 scoreless innings, total of 3 hits allowed in the 2 games by the bullpen. The 7 2/3 innings, 7 strikeouts. So they were able to nail down those wins. First game was a 9-inning game, the 6-3 win for Florida A&M. Then they played a 7-inning game. That's the rule in this conference when you play a doubleheader. 9 innings in the first game, 7 innings in the second game.
And that's enough.
Well, a lot of conferences now have gone 7-7 like they do in the minors. So I like that a little better. You got 9, but then you use up your bullpen in that first game. You get a little shorter in the second game. And back into the Eagle.
You see the enthusiasm of both teams. There's literally nobody sitting on the bench. They're all up on the top step. They're all up against the railing. If you're not playing in this game, and that's kind of the college enthusiasm that you see. Everybody's into it. If you're not in that game that day, you're pulling for your teammates. You're up on the top step. Not yawning, though. Sometimes you have to.
Once in a while you yawn.
He didn't sleep very well last night.
Check swing. The tag applied. He went around. Strike 3. So Anderson gets out of the jam with any further damage, but the damage done here on the 2-run homer for Triplett, his 4th of the year, and a 2-0 lead for North Carolina Central.
Ever since we heard about it, it's just been thinking about it. Every now and then, just sitting at home, I'm just like, I can't Childhood just dream be at Fenway Park.
It's Christian Triplett yesterday, and that's him all smiles right now. The first baseman with a 2-run, the only hit of the game so far, a 2-0 lead here for North Carolina Central. So Florida A&M trailing early, bottom of the second inning now, as Michael Birdsong will step up to the plate. First pitch, swinging a ground ball back to Triplett. He'll make the play himself. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the second.
Now we talk about the experience level of any of these kids in the Boston area. No one's really been up there. There's a couple assistant coaches, one from each ball, that are from the New England area. A guy from Maine, and also the pitching coach, Joe Witowski. He's from Connecticut.
He's from Middletown, Connecticut. Tyler Hansen, one of the assistant coaches from Sanford, Maine.
Yeah.
Played at University of Maine Farmington, up by the base of Sugarloaf. You
Yeah.
want me to give you any more Maine background?
You can ski right up until it's time to start playing baseball.
You can, yeah, probably ski between innings.
Witowski's an interesting case. He played pro ball, the big leagues, but he played both as a pitcher and then a catcher.
Brian Davis fouling off. In foul territory is Kimber. Quickly, 2 outs for Sweet here in the second.
Well, Sweet threw a ton of pitches in that first inning. He needed to bounce back and get a couple outs like that. If you can continue that through the rest of this inning, then you can serve your pitches into the later innings of the game.
That'll bring up Jeremy Barlow, the number 8 hitter, the catcher for Florida A&M. 5'11", 195-pound senior out of Pace, Florida, transfer or moved over from Alabama Southern Community College. Went 2 for 3 last week in the game against Auburn. And he'll take a ball 1. Again, coming into the day, Florida A&M a half game back of Bethune-Cookman in the MEAC division standings. Trying to get that top seed for the playoffs. And trying to make a run in that playoffs for the automatic NCAA berth. Sweet will miss inside.
Barlow's had some issues at the plate this year. Doesn't have a great average, but they say really runs well. He can beat out some.
Fly ball left field, up towards the monster, and off the wall. Just missing the top of that wall. Sliding in safely with a 2-out double. Jeremy Barlow gets the Rattlers on the base paths here in the second.
Pretty excited. Wall ball here at Fenway.
Yeah, the Green Monster giveth and the Green Monster taketh away. That's a ball that would have been a home run in a lot of ballparks, but here it is a wall ball double.
He just got that bat head out, kind of hooked it in the left center field, off the wall right there, and then he understands, he's probably seen enough games here on TV, that you better hustle into second base or they're going to throw you out.
Had him on TV yesterday, an interview down at Pawtucket, talking about how excited he was to be squatting down where Jason Varitek many games and trying to hit one off that wall, and sure enough, his first at bat, he does indeed put a dent up in that wall. So he's in scoring position here. Out of the second, Peter Jackson, the right fielder now, trying to deliver 2 down. Sweet trying to get out of the inning.
Undoubtedly, one of the cooler things about playing in Fenway Park is no matter where else you play, you can hit a ball off the wall, but at Fenway, of course, you can. You know there's a dent in the wall where you hit it, and you can literally say, I own one of those dents. I know that one's mine.
Jackson, the outfielder out of St. Louis, Missouri. 6'1", 190-pound junior. One of just 3 players on the roster not from the state of Florida. Sweet will step off as Barlow is bouncing around off the bag there. Sweet misses outside. Take a look at Barlow after he got to second base. That double, how great is that?
Rotator cuff surgery right there.
He's a little fired up.
He's trying to fire up everyone else in that dugout, try to get them on the scoreboard here, see what they can do.
Devin Sweet looking in. Jackson stepping out. About a month ago, these teams played 3 games up in Durham, North Carolina, that is. Not up in Durham, Maine. We were talking about Maine before. I just want to clear that up. But all 3 games, the home team, North Carolina Central, sweeping that series. So Florida A&M now trying to return serve and sweep the 3-game series here way up north.
Of course, most people know about the movie Bolt, and they play their home games at Durham Stadium.
That old ballpark. The AAA team has moved on to a new ballpark, but NC Central still using the old Durham Athletic Park, as they call it, the walk for Jackson. We take a look at it, and it's almost the mirror opposite image of Fenway Park. It's got the huge wall in right field, actually a bigger wall that is closer. That wall is 20 feet tall, 295 feet away from home plate. But there were actually players on this team who said they came to North Carolina Central because they had seen that ballpark in Bull Durham.
Well, it was a AA field when I was coming through the Red Sox system, and we played there against the Durham Bulls. It was kind of fun. And then obviously when the movie came out, I was like, yep, I've hit one over the cow. Hit it here, get a steak. Did
you get a steak?
No.
Did you hit the cow?
That was just, I hit it over the cow.
Do you get anything for hitting it over the cow?
A home run.
Which helps you move on from AA, and you can buy your own steaks.
It is kind of cool because it is a short right field wall there, and it's so high. You hit it over the wall, and it bounces off the buildings that are out there.
Former Nesson announcer Paul Devlin was in that movie Bull Durham. He actually hit the home run.
Oh, when
after
he told
Kevin
him what was
Costner
coming?
came out and told him what was coming.
When you speak of me, speak well.
Great moment. Paul Devlin's watching somewhere. I'll be hearing about it on Twitter that I mentioned his name. So.
Is that the time where you yelled at him for not running after he hit it? I give you a cookie like that and you don't run?
That's right. Inside now, and Sweet having a little bit of control issues, and we've talked about it. That's what a young pitcher like Sweet has been battling this freshman season. Got 2 quick outs here, then the double, then the walk. Now all of a sudden you're having trouble putting away Jared Walker, who's their hottest hitter.
I think for a lot of people, if they have never gone to a college baseball game or they don't frequent them regularly, it's amazing when you're talking about some of these kids that there's a possibility that 1 or 2 of these kids be in the big leagues like in the next 4 or 5 seasons, and you can see the degree of difficulty that it takes. And in order to make yourself a better player, to get from this level to get to the big leagues, you can see the inconsistency at the college level far more.
3-1 pitch to Walker, out ahead of it, and he fouls it off. So it'll be a full count here with 2 down and 2 on. Already the 3rd full count of the day. Devin Sweet. He has walked 2, he has hit 1, and he's got himself a 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the 2nd. Long look in here for Sweet. 42nd pitch of the game, the 3-2 pitch. Again ripped foul. So we'll do it again.
That's the kind of swing that kind of makes you mad, because you get a good pitch to hit, good fastball, you're sitting on it, and then you pull the trigger a little too early and you yank it foul instead of just hitting a bullet somewhere.
Full count pitch once again from Sweet. Walker takes ball 4, and the bases are loaded now with 2 down for Alec Wong. Today's open house presented by Nexium 24-hour features college baseball between 2 historically black colleges, Florida A&M University and North Carolina Central University. Throughout the day, fans will have the chance to walk around the park, discover behind-the-scenes locations, and learn more about the 103-year-old ballpark's history by following the Fenway Park A Living Museum plaques, displays, and historical markers. Alec Wong, the bases loaded and 2 outs, trying to make his own historical mark on this game. He'll take ball 1. Tom Karen, Steve Lyons with you here at Fenway Park, the HBCU Showcase game. between Florida A&M University and North Carolina Central University. North Carolina Central leading 2-0 here, but Florida A&M with the bases loaded. Wong right back up here and off the facade. You were ready for it?
I was. Ready to duck.
Stage manager Amy was up. Putting the fist in her mitt, ready to make the catch. One and one the count here to Wong. Second baseman reached on a fielder's choice back in the first inning. Takes ball 2.
Sweet's really struggling right now with consistency, and it seems like we told you earlier that his changeup was his best pitch, but he can't throw that for a strike, and his fastball at less than 88 miles an hour is pretty hittable, so he's a little confused. He's not sure how to trick anybody right now.
Here's the 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss from Wong. So it'll be 2-2. Last week, Wong had his 4th 3-hit game of the season against Auburn, 3 for 4. Now, they lost that game 3-2. Most of the people around A&M thought that was a game they should have won. They out-hit the Tigers 11-4 in that game. Get that big hit. Wong looking for one here.
Yeah, he lost that game in the 8th inning too, so it was kind of heartbreaking.
But it shows you just how far this program has come and how close this program is to some of the top programs in the nation. As we said, a win over Florida last season sort of got a lot of people's attention. Wins like that will help you recruit, get more players coming into the program. 3-2 the count here. Bases loaded and 2 outs. Bottom of the second, Florida A&M down 2-0, trying to make something happen.
There's a handful of players on both clubs here that have kind of seen the transition from teams that were just not baseball powerhouses at all, and with the new leadership and the new head coaches that have come in. Now you look at North Carolina 4 seasons ago, they had 7 wins. They had a 27-win season a couple of years ago.
Full count pitch to Wong, and he fouls it off to keep it going. Yeah, North Carolina Central program's more than 100 years old, but they dropped it in 1975. The discussion to bring it back came to a head in 2006 with the school's decision to go from D2 up to Division I. They reinstated baseball in 2007, spent a year as Division II, then a couple of transition years, and now 4 seasons as a Division I program. Rips one to right field. That'll be this game as 2 runs coming to score, and a 2-run, 2-out single for Alec Wong ties the game here in the second.
He's kind of a feisty little kid. We told you he weighs 160 pounds. I don't believe that. Maybe 140 soaking wet. 5'6", but he's got some pop in that bat, and he's very tough to pitch to because he's got such a small strike zone.
And now a discussion out on the mound as Devin Sweet, after getting 2 quick outs here in the second, a double to Barlow. He walked Jackson and then walked Walker to bases before the 2-out, 2-run single on a 3-2 pitch. Alec Wong delivering his 16th and 17th RBI of the season. And the team's RBI leader now, Marlon Gibbs, 27 on the season, will step up with 2 down and men on the corners. The catch, Volchik out to arrange the field, move the infielders into position as they get ready for Marlon Gibbs. Gibbs, the left fielder, hit by a pitch back in the first inning. Now trying to give his team a lead with men on the corners. Wong way off the base trying to draw a throw.
Yeah, I would think that Wong would probably sit still right here. You have one of your bigger run producers at the plate right now. Don't necessarily want him getting thrown out. He hit a gapper, Wong could score from first base.
The pitch from Sweet. Strike, and count is 1-1.
Gibbs easily the team's leader in runs scored with 42. A little bit unusual when you think about a guy hitting in that number 3 spot. You know, he's clearly being driven in by guys behind him. You start getting back into those 5th, 6th, 7th guys that are driving him in, so they're being productive hitters.
All right, 1-1 the count here to Gibbs, the 5'9", 185-pound left fielder. Take a called ball there. So we're here at Fenway Park on a Saturday afternoon as the Red Sox get ready to battle the Orioles again tonight at Camden Yards. An open house all day long at Fenway, going till 6 o'clock tonight, and this is the HBC Showcase game. The historically black is invited here to play this showcase. Ball gets away. Down from third is Walker. He'll slide in ahead of the throw, and the Rattlers take their first lead of the game.
Well, we talked about Walker being most likely the fastest guy on the field today, including both teams, and you see him screaming down the line. Great jump. The ball skips away, doesn't hesitate at all. You've got no chance of getting a guy with his speed.
So 3 runs off with 2 outs here in the second inning.
Boy, he had 2 outs after 3 pitches, too.
The number 8 and number 9 hitters getting things started. The big double for Barlow, the walk for Jackson. Now Walker with the walk, the 2-run single for Wong, and Gibbs continues to battle here with Wong at second base and a 3-2 lead for the Rattlers. '56th pitch for Sweet, fouled off to the right.
That's the kind of a foul ball as a hitter you really love. He just spoiled a nasty pitch that probably would have been called strike 3 had he taken it. So he just kind of flicked at it, tried to get a piece of it. Now he lives for another pitch right here, hoping to get a mistake that he can hit.
33rd pitch of the inning for Sweet. As you said, he had 2 outs after 3 pitches. It has been a battle since. A flare to third base, and Kimber gets over there to make the catch and end the inning. So a great chance to get your photo all over Fenway. How about getting up there and checking out the hardware at the open house today here in Boston. Welcome back. Florida A&M with 3 in the bottom of the second, taking a 3-2 lead into the top of the third here as the showcase game at Fenway Park continues. And we're joined now by the head coach of the North Carolina Central University Eagles, Jim Kerner, joining us. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Oh, thank you.
First of all, talk a little about that inning. You've got a young pitcher out there who got 2 quick outs that seemed to have a little trouble. What happened after that?
No, I think he's just got to be able to pitch through that a little bit. I think he had a little bit of nerves up there, big situation. Like you said, he's a young pitcher, and it's something that he's working through a little bit right now.
You talk about the nerves, and obviously you're playing at Fenway here. Some of these young men, I'm sure, have never been to New England, let alone to play a game at Fenway Park. Is that something you address to the team to both enjoy the experience but be ready to play when you get out there?
Absolutely. We talked about it. You know, it's a great venue. It's a big atmosphere. But, again, it's just another baseball game, and we're trying to find a way to separate the two right now.
Jim, one of the interesting things about this game is your starting pitcher's also hitting for himself. I know he's one of your best all-around players, but you just don't see that much anymore.
No, you don't. But Devin's a special athlete, and we've had him do it before, and he's done it very well. And I think before today's out, he'll show us what he's made of.
Fly ball there to left field that Gibbs will get under for the first out of the inning. Tell us what this event, what this weekend has meant to your team and your program, why you as a university accepted to be part of it.
It's just a special event all the way around to be invited to come up here and participate in a historic game like this, being one of the first HBCUs to play on the field right here. It's a tremendous honor for us.
We know that yesterday was a little bit of a tough day, a hectic one. You thought you were going to be playing in Boston. You ended up playing in Pawtucket. You guys dropped both sides of that doubleheader, but so that makes this game absolutely huge for you guys.
It's a game for us, and we try to put emphasis on every game that we play, and you don't want to overplay one game more than another if you're playing the right way. But obviously, it's an important game for us. Yes.
And Sweet gets base hit there to get on with one out. Now, I know you've got a couple of coaches with some local connections too, right? Hanson's from Maine, and
yes,
you got Joe Witkowski from Connecticut. So have you been hearing all about Fenway Park in Boston now for the last few days leading up to this?
Probably a little bit too much, yeah. They definitely talk a lot about it. They throw in their Boston accents here and there and try to play it up a lot.
Yeah, Jim, forget about the excitement level of your kids. How tough was it for you to keep your emotions in check playing here?
Well, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for all of us, and for me too, being out on this field with so many so many great players taking the field here before us, it's quite an honor for me as well.
It was a great moment when Triplett hit that home run. The smile on his face coming around third base, that's what this is all about, isn't it?
It certainly is, and he was coming around third base, and I said that's one that you're never going to forget.
I got to ask you real quickly, too. We've talked a lot about your players, your coaches, but I want to bring up your bat boy. I'm sure this is a special weekend for him as well.
Yeah, I know that kid a little bit. Yeah, me and him kind of a special relationship. That's my son. He turned 8 years old yesterday. When we told him that we were coming up here for his birthday, he was really, really pumped up for it. He's having a great time.
We got a shot of him on the screen with you right now for a moment there. And I hope you get a lot of pictures here because this is a game you guys will never forget.
Yeah, we certainly will. I appreciate you having us. Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on. Good luck the rest of the way. That's Jim Kerner, head coach of the Eagles. Thanks, Jim. As his team now 2 outs and a man on here in the third inning now, trailing by a run. And you see and felt the enthusiasm from the head coach. And that kind of tells, it's one thing when the kids are excited. When the coach is excited, it's a big event.
Yeah, and then it's so hard to try to get the kids to do something that you're not sure you can do yourself.
See Thompson now trying to get something going. He drew the walk to lead off the second inning and then scored. Out ahead of that one, he fouls it off.
Thompson can juice a ball on you too. 7 homers on the year.
Yeah, that is second most in the modern era.
Yeah.
Central baseball, second only to Carlos Ortiz, who just flied out the center.
Good combination of speed and power. He's got the 15 stolen bases to go along with it.
Florida A&M leading it here in the top of the third. Fly ball there from Thompson. Walker, actually the shortstop, Elkins back to play it, and that'll end the inning. So Anderson able to pitch around the single from Sweet. And the Rattlers will come up to bat, leading by a run in the third. All right, open house here at Fenway Park. And coming up today at 5, don't miss the real-life MBA discussion of business and baseball featuring Jack Welch and John Henry. Learn how to build a team and win the game in business and in baseball. It's today at 5 on NESN. Tom Kerr and Steve Lyons with you here as Florida A&M now with a run lead. And their cleanup hitter, Ryan Kennedy, stepping up to lead off the third inning. Kennedy struck out in his first at-bat, now hitting .260 on the season. Team leading 5 home runs for the third baseman. Out ahead of that one. As Sweet now, after battling through a long second inning, tries to settle in and find his groove.
His first inning wasn't a walk in the park either, so his pitch count is getting up there. He's just going to have to try to be a little more economical here and try to pitch to contact a little bit more and get some quicker outs.
This will be the 60th pitch of the game for Sweet. Fouled off by Kennedy. The open house here at Fenway Park began at 10 o'clock this morning. Fans were allowed literally everywhere in this ballpark except on the field of play. Kennedy gets out of the way of that one. 2-2 the count, but some of the places you never get to go as a fan in the clubhouse, the batting cages, up here into the press box. Not just an open house to walk around the warning track. Line to Kimber at third. He'll make the catch for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, they maybe should have called it all access, because it was all access. You could go darn near anywhere, and a lot of places you've never been able to go. Really a great experience for the fans. And as we said, I believe they did this in 2012, and they got 54,000 people through the gates. I think there's going to be way more than that before it's all said and done today.
Well, it continues for another 2 hours and 45 minutes. So when I was walking around earlier, while you were down signing autographs, I was walking around with the people. And this was some of the things. You see the ropes, but yet you got to come in, take a picture of the clubhouse, the guys' stuff in there.
You are a man of the people.
I am a man of the people, and you are a man signing autographs for the people. That's why one of us played the big leagues and one of us didn't. Easy to figure out which one is which.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, everyone, people ask me all the time, hey, what's the clubhouse look like? What goes on in there? People got a chance to see exactly what it looks like, which is basically a locker room.
Ground ball over to Kimber across the diamond for the second out of the inning. A lot of people even came up here to the press box, and that's what always amazes me. People asking me, what's it like up in the press box? It's like being in the stands, just a little higher.
A funny little room we sit in.
Free lunch once in a while?
Yeah, once in a while, but not today.
I'll buy you dinner. All right.
I'm ready.
Did you get a receipt? I got a receipt. Yeah, here's some fans up in the press box, checking things out. You're trying to sit where Nick Cafardo or Peter Abraham or Rob Bradford sit.
Any of those guys. That's a big thrill,
Where they eat their free lunch before every game. Base hit through to the right side. So Michael Birdsong with 2 outs. Gets the first hit of the game, and again for the second straight inning. Quick couple of outs for Sweet. Has trouble putting it away. And you got 1 on now with Brian coming up.
Birdsong's gone the other way, both at bats. This time he gets the base hit out of it.
Davis takes a called strike there. Fouled out of the third base side back in the second inning for the second out of that inning, but that's when the trouble started for Sweet. 3 runs allowed, all with 2 outs. Sweet got a win earlier this season against Florida A&M on April 19th. I beg your pardon, March 22nd. He went 7 innings, shutout baseball, giving up only 2 hits. Fly ball here to center field. Ortiz coming in strong, and he'll make the catch. The center fielder putting it away, so this time Sweet is able to get out of it after the 2-out single to Birdsong and keep it a 1-run game heading to the 4th. Welcome back to Fenway Park. Florida A&M with the 3-2 lead as we head to the 4th inning, and the head coach of the Rattlers joining us now downstairs. Jamie Shoup, thanks for coming on, Coach.
Yeah, it's great to be here. Great to be in Fenway Park.
Yeah, tell us a little about the excitement your team has had for this event. We saw them out there taking pictures before the game. And how have you as a coach sort of made sure they enjoyed that experience but still were ready to play baseball?
Well, the coach in me is obviously very excited, but got to keep our composure. But still the kid, the baseball player, the former baseball player is very excited to be here. It was fun being on the bus this morning with our kids when we left the hotel, turned the corner, and they saw Fenway and realized, I think it really hit them then that we were going to be playing a baseball game in Fenway Park today. You could hear the uproar on the bus, and it was just exciting as a coach to see our kids get this opportunity.
If you're coaching a minor league baseball team, a lot of the guys that are on that team are men. These are kids, so you must have had to get them together and say something about the experience and maybe try to calm them down and make sure that they were focused.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, and this is a big series for us as well. This could put us in first place if we win this ball game in the conference. So big, crucial series for us. So winning this game today could put us in first place. So, yeah, we still got baseball to play. So it's exciting, but there's still work to be done for us today.
Christian Triplett with his second hit of the game, leading off the 4th here for the Eagles. Talk a little about what your team was able to accomplish yesterday. I mean, you start the day up in Jim Rice Field. You kind of got to scramble and get to Pawtucket to go through all of that and then 2 games. How important was that to your team?
Well, I think it showed the character of our kids. You know, it's a tough day. We started about 8 o'clock looking to play 11 o'clock doubleheader. That got pushed back. We had to drive an hour and a half on a school bus and ended up playing a 3 o'clock doubleheader. But it was, again, you know, 20 years from now, our players will look back and say we played a doubleheader in Pawtucket in the AAA park for the Red Sox, and then a game in a big league venue, something that not many, if any, of our we have the opportunity to do again.
And Coach, you spent so many years at a big-time program down there in Florida State, and you told me that your major responsibilities there was recruiting. Now, as the head coach, you got to be having so much fun, kind of getting to do what you really want to do.
It is. I mean, as a baseball person and being around baseball your whole life, you know, you like to have control of the wins and losses. Ultimately, as a coach, as much as coaches have that responsibility, so it's fun. It's fun to come to work every day and influence the lives of kids. And, you know, we teach baseball. We also teach life through the game of baseball.
You talk about recruiting. You played Auburn last week, a 3-2 loss that everyone said you probably outplayed them in that game. Last year you beat Florida. Playing those SEC schools, playing those big-time schools and having success, what does that do for building your program?
Well, I mean, it's easy for us to get up for those games and kind of difficult for them to get up for those games. So, you know, we have a little bit of advantage there, you know, because you know they came off of a 2 out of 3 win. Auburn did against I think it was Arkansas, a big SEC rivalry, and then you know it was just good for us to get to a good venue. You know, SEC schools have great venues. It was good for us to get in a good venue and play, and our kids thrive and look forward.
And Jamie, you know, the more success your program has, the tougher it might be for you to get those games scheduled, because nobody wants, you know, big time program doesn't want to get beat by your team, and you guys keep having a lot of success. It's a little tougher to get on that schedule.
I hope we have that problem. So it hasn't been a problem yet, but that's our goal, to be able to play good competitive college baseball, whether it's a small school or big school, but to play the game the right way. We don't worry about who we play. We talk about that when we beat Florida last year. Every game we play. Our job, as you guys know, people, is to play the game. If we play it the right way, then we have a chance to win baseball games. So it's not like football or basketball where strength or height can advantage. It's baseball, and anything can happen. You get a good guy on that bump out there pitching well, you know, you got a chance to win a baseball game.
Jay, I want to ask you before you go, Andre Dawson, Hall of Famer, obviously a Florida A&M product, and spent a little time here in Boston at the end of his career. We know he was instrumental in making this happen, sort of having the involvement of a legend like that, and guys like Hal McRae and Vince Coleman and Grissom. What has that meant to you, your players, and the program?
Well, it's just the name by itself. I mean, you know, something that not programs can say. Florida A&M has the advantage of saying that, the opportunity to say that they have a Hall of Famer that formerly played at their school as an alumni of their university. So Andre's been good to baseball. He's been good to baseball at Florida A&M, and he's just a great guy, first of all, and obviously his career has spoken for itself. Just a great man and obviously Hall of Famer. So it's good to have association. We also have, Hal McRae played at Florida A&M, Vince Coleman, Marquise Grissom. I mean, there's a who's who of FAMU alumni that played at this level, the major league level, and were very successful.
Well, we know you're enjoying the experience. I know you're going to enjoy it more if you win, and you're up by a run, so enjoy the rest of the day.
It's time to go to work. Let's see if we can win this one. Thank you.
All right, thanks for joining us. That's head coach of Florida A&M with us here, as that fly ball will be caught by his center fielder Walker for the first out rather, of the inning here in the 4th. And again, you hear it in the demeanor, the reaction of both coaches. You want to say just another game, right? Don't get too high, don't get too low. Every game means as much as the other, but they are fully aware that this is more than just another game for their players.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, the experience is it's tough for them knowing that you're at the end of the season and you're fighting to try to get into the playoffs, but you also have to enjoy this game. I mean, there's a number of these kids. There's kids that are seniors on this team that this will be the last season they ever play baseball. So you better stop and smell the you're playing at Fenway Park.
So Trevor Tyson now fouling one off, 2 on, 1 down, a chance for the Eagles, who had a 2-0 lead after the 2-run home run in the second from Christian Triplett, but then 3 runs in the bottom half of that inning for Florida A&M, and that's how the Rattlers are holding on to this 1-run lead here in the 4th. I
really love talking to college It's really the grassroots. It's, you know, you're at the age here, some of these kids, where you really start to see the talent level rise, but they still make mistakes. They make stupid baseball mistakes. They're still learning how to play the game in many respects, but you're also seeing the talent come, and these guys are there to cultivate that year in and year out.
This one ripped to right field, a sliding catch there in by Jackson. Nice effort there to get the second out of the inning.
Jackson looking a little bit like Vlad Guerrero out there on a play like that. Times it perfectly. He lays out. Saved a run there, probably.
And that'll mean 2 down now for the number 9 hitter, Jake Cagle. Struck out to end the second inning.
Yeah, I think when you are a head coach at either of these universities and you do play against some stiffer competition, programs and kids that you know are most likely better than you, I think it's really easy to play those games with your head held high if you went out and competed and played the way you can play. It's like, hey, if we play hard and we play the game the right way, we might still lose, but if we lose, it'll be because we didn't have the horses to win, not because we didn't go in there and play the game right.
Yeah, we told you Shoup was the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference Coach of the Year last year in his first year at Florida A&M. Now with a 42-48 all-time record, but 26-18 inside the conference. And try to win those conference games and get yourself in a position to be battling for a NCAA. Ground ball to second, handled there by Wong. Flips over to Elkins in time for the force out to end the inning. So, a leadoff single followed by a walk, 2 on, nobody out, but no damage as Anderson pitches out of it. Here at Fenway Park, as thousands of fans have made their way to the ballpark for a free look at all the nooks and crannies, and then catch a little baseball as the historically black college showcase continues between these two teams. Bottom of the fourth, we're joined now COO and Executive Vice President of the Red Sox, all-around good guy, Sam Kennedy. Thanks for coming up. You only came up because we have the heater going on.
I'm here. Good guys, so thanks for having me.
Hey, we just had Mayor Walsh on a little while ago, coming in for an inning to join us. Talk about the sort of partnership between the city and the team and how you can make like this happen on a Saturday where the team's on the road, but you can open up the doors for free.
Yeah, I can't say enough about the city of Boston and the partnership that we have with Mayor Walsh and his staff, Dan Coe and everybody over there that continues to encourage us to do more events, bring more activity and life to Fenway Park when the team is on the road. And today's an example of just sort of opening up the ballpark. Steve, I liked your idea of calling this day All Access. That's exactly what it's supposed to be, you know, get to see every inch of the ballpark, the stuff we dreamed about when we were kids. You got to see it, but we didn't.
I think we're also surprised at that. I mean, when you call it an open house, and you think, oh yeah, we can walk around the dirt, we can maybe go out and touch the green monster, but I was like, I think I was in the men's room and someone knocked on the door. Yeah, I could go anywhere in here, man. Like, we're up in the press box. I mean, they literally could go almost everywhere in this stadium.
Yeah, you know, Larry Lucchino has preached for as long as I've worked for him, which is going on 20 years now. You know, think like a fan. So when you're putting these events together, think like a fan. What would you want to do if you're a 10, 12-year-old kid coming into Fenway Park, walking around? Well, I know I'd want to go and see the clubhouse. That'd be the first place I'd want to go, check out the dugout, maybe look inside the green monster, see the monster seats. So the idea is to make Fenway accessible and continue to allow people from all over the city of Boston to come and check out Fenway.
This kind of evolved as you get a ground ball here to third base. Charging is Kimber across the diamond for the first out of the inning. This evolved out of the Boston area church league, and your father was very involved in that. Talk a little about how in 2002 that all came about, where you created this opportunity to come together and play baseball.
You know, my dad, this is TC maybe explains a lot about me and how screwed up I am, but my dad is a Episcopal clergyman, so I'm a preacher's kid. So you grow up with a lot of pressure, or in my case, confusion, guilt, right? So I actually grew up coming to Fenway Park to see the Red Sox play on a clergy pass.
Another ground ball to third base. Good quick throw across from Kimber for the second out.
Actually, Tom Yawkey and his administration started the pass program way back, and my father found out about it. He's a crafty guy, found out that they were giving out clergy passes, and we used to come in for $2 and get to stand in section 25. So I've gotten to know a lot of clergy in my time, and that program was brought back by John Tom Werner and Larry Lucchino when we showed up. Had gone away for a little while. And then Dr. Charles Steinberg and Frank Jordan put together the Boston Area Church League with Mayor Menino and his staff. And it's been well received. You heard a little bit about it in the pregame ceremonies. You've got members of the clergy. You've got law enforcement officials, people that work different city positions that put on the games on Saturdays, doubleheaders. And it's just a great way to get young kids playing baseball, which is what we have to do. We've got to get more kids playing baseball all spring and all summer long in the city.
Yeah, speak a little bit more to that. And obviously a lot of kids in the ballpark today, and with the opportunity for families to come in here, it doesn't cost them a dime. They can walk around and do everything that was available to them.
All right, we're going to take a break.
Yep.
Just working it out with the Trump. Negotiated to keep you here another half inch.
I talked right through that. I was going to talk right through the break.
We'll take a break, come back more with Sam Kennedy after this. Part of the open house fun, some former players signing some autographs. Jerry Moses, Bob Montgomery, Brian Rose, Monty again. Again, this all part of that open house, having some players there. Was that a autograph?
That was very legible, too.
So they go home, they know who signed it.
Indeed.
Yeah, there you go. Sam Kennedy, as we roll on now to the top of the 5th inning. We were just talking a little bit about how this sort of evolved out of that Boston Area Church League. And yeah, having this in 2002 when you guys came in, understanding the great history, and you're from here, grew up down the road in Brookline, understanding the great history the Red Sox have in Boston, but recognizing you guys never hid from this, the fact that, the last player of color become part of the team, Pumpsy Green, 12 years after Jackie Robinson. And that's always been a mission, this game part of that mission, to try to build some of those bridges that maybe weren't there 50 years ago.
Absolutely. I think it was one of the smartest things. The ground ball.
That's great. Stay here. Everybody's playing well right now.
We jinxed it.
Off the glove.
When John Henry arrived, I remember one of the first things he said, I think it was in an interview with Howard Bryant, he recognized the shameful sort of history and past related to race relations in the Red Sox and everything that had happened, and Larry Lucchino acknowledged it, Tom Werner acknowledged it, and it was an important in Red Sox history, and from that moment forward, we've tried to be as accessible to everyone out in the community whenever possible, and really reaching out to every neighborhood of the city. And
little bunt here, as that'll be a sacrifice to move the runner along, and so Sweet, the pitcher, helping out a sacrifice bunt that'll move McCrary over to second base with 1 out.
We've been able to this year bring on some new initiatives. Charles Steinberg and Sarah McKenna and everyone that works in our community outreach area and our marketing department, Adam Grossman, have come up with some ideas to reach out specifically to kids. So we've got Calling All Kids program, where everyone who signs up, kids aged 1 to 14, can get a free ticket, and then we have a $9 student ticket all year, sort of reminiscent of the old clergy pass days and military pass days. So we want kids, we want students, high school students, to be able to come to Fenway Park, and we do not want cost to be an issue. We want to make this ballpark accessible, because the reason you fall in love with baseball is when you get to access it and experience a jewel like Fenway Park. Red Sox baseball. That's why, TC, I'm sure you fell in love with the game. It's why I fell in love with the game. You get to go with a parent or a teacher or coach, and we really want to provide those experiences.
And the average age of the people that are watching baseball is getting older and older, and it just seems to me that if you get a kid when he's 8 years old, when he's 10 years old, and you get him into a ballpark and he sees the game, he falls in love, and you've got him then for forever, and that's what has to be done.
Absolutely right. We couldn't agree with you more. I think Rob Manfred, the new commissioner of baseball, couldn't you more. I think you're going to see a lot of Calling All Kids type of initiatives throughout the game in the coming years, and we're lucky that John and Tom and Larry have allowed us to really take that next step and making the ballpark accessible not only for Red Sox baseball, but also opening it up for other events. You do a soccer match or outdoor ice hockey or college football like we coming this fall, and that brings in a new demographic of fans as well.
Concert series and all those things.
Absolutely right.
Fly ball here to right field. The catch made there by Jackson. That'll advance the runner. How about a left-handed hitting number 34 named Ortiz stepping up at Fenway Park? How great is that?
You might send him to Baltimore tonight.
You mentioned football. I want to bring that up real quick. You've got the Boston College Notre Dame game coming up this fall. How unique an event will that be?
It's going to be special. We're very grateful to Brad Bates and everyone up at Boston College for helping us make this happen, with Jack Swarbrick out at Notre Dame and his team putting this together. The Shamrock Series coming to Fenway Park on November 21st will be very exciting. It'll be a hot ticket. It's actually a Notre Dame home game, believe it or not. They take a game off-site each year, and BC's going to be playing it, so it should be great.
Foul ball pop, caught there, and that'll end the inning. Sam, we appreciate you coming up. Get Ice back here soon, because I want the Red Sox to have a chance to revenge the Nesson victory over the Red Sox.
We've been working out dry land training for 2 years in anticipation.
Sam, CEO of the Red Sox, joining us now. We'll take a break, come back, head to the bottom of the fifth after this. Bottom of the fifth here at Fenway Park. Still a 3-2 lead for Florida A&M, and the Rattlers coming up here in the bottom half of the fifth inning with that one-run lead, and second baseman Alec Wong ready to lead off the inning. Wong with a two-run single in his last at-bat. That was in the second inning. That was the big blow in this game, the two-out, two-run single, tying the game at that point. Jared Walker would later score on a wild pitch. That's the go-ahead run, as Devin Sweet, 76 pitches in now. First pitch swinging, the pop fly, third base, Kimber under it, one pitch for Sweet.
It seems like Sweet has had innings where he can get a couple outs and then can't put them away.
And that was the trouble in the second inning. What do we say? 3 pitches to get the first 2 outs, Birdsong and Davis. And then 5 more batters got up to the plate, putting 3 runs on the board.
Funny game.
I'm sure Sweet did not find that funny, ha-ha. Maybe funny strange, as Marlon Gibbs steps up with 1 out, nobody on here in the fifth. Sweet delivers, just misses outside. Sweet's last game, April 19th, threw well 6 2/3 innings against Savannah State. Gave up just 2 runs, but that was a 10-inning loss for the Eagles. Gets the called strike there. Sweet, the freshman, looking for his 5th win of the year. Wind starting to shift in here at Fenway Park as gets the called strike, and that'll be a full count now to Gibbs. Gibbs was hit by a pitch in his first back in the first inning. That was the 14th batter Sweet has hit this season. Here it's Gibbs with the fly ball to center field. It'll go all the way back to the warning track and off the wall. Gibbs will pull up at second with a 1-out double here in the fifth.
Good power. We talked about the gap power that Gibbs has. Center fielder on this ball, though, you got to turn and run. You got to turn and look at the wall and run towards the wall where you think the ball's going to go, and then turn around and try to catch it again. You lose so much time by tracking the ball the entire time while you're running. And I bet had he ran to a spot, he probably would have caught that ball because he was a couple steps faster.
Instead, got a man on second with 1 out. Number 4 hitter Ryan Kennedy coming up. He's 0 for 2. Struck out in the first inning, then a soft liner to third.
Long lost relative of.
We have not confirmed that. But having a Kennedy succeed in Boston would not be unprecedented.
No. It's happened.
That one, and something you won't see at a major league game here at Fenway Park, as some of the North State pitchers are running in fair territory out to the bullpen to get ready to join the bullpen group.
I think in this game, obviously you're sitting out in the think a lot of those pitchers just wanted to experience what it's like to be in Fenway Park and be a little closer and stay in the dugout until they had to get up and ready to go.
And now Kowalczyk will go out and have a couple of words with his pitcher suite. Maybe buying a little more time for all that activity that's starting up out in the North Carolina Central bullpen. Kennedy out of Merritt Island, Florida, and Wake Tech Community College was a preseason All-MEAC second-team selection and got it going with a 2-for-3 day in the season opener against Marshall. It's been on a roll ever since. Team leading 5 home runs, hitting in the 4-hole for the Rattlers, who look to add to their 1-run lead here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, we saw him take a 3-2 fastball down the middle in his first at-bat, but I still like how quiet he is at the plate. He just kind of wants to explode when he's ready. See how he takes those pitches. There's not a lot of extra movement. He's not checking his swing. It looks to me like he's seeing the ball really well.
Sweet looking in. 87 pitches on the afternoon for the Eagles right-hander.
And he balked.
We got a balk here. And looking back to second base. Immediately the home umpire, Rick Eckred, calling the balk. And that'll move Gibbs to third. Saw the little move.
Wow, it was a little one.
Now 1 out and 2 on the walk to Kennedy. So Ryan Kennedy aboard for the first time today. 4th walk of the game issued by Sweet. 29 walks on the season. And the slow walk out to the mound. Joe Witowski will come out. The pitching coach talked about earlier out of Middletown, Connecticut. Out to have a couple of words with his pitcher as activity continues in the Eagles bullpen. We've seen just about what we expected out of Sweet today. Strikeout stuff there. We've seen him make some quick work of batters, but then get into stretches where he has trouble locating his fastball.
And that's just all about being a young kid. He's just a freshman. He's one of the more talented players on this team, but you can't always harness that talent. This is a long meeting on the mound too. They're still giving those guys a lot of time to get ready down in that bullpen. But there's just so much more instruction that has to go on at this level of baseball than it's not so much pro baseball where they come out and say, look, you're not getting the ball out of the play. We got to get you out of there and get someone else in that can do it. They're trying to teach and coddle these a little bit and try to make sure that you're not damaging their psyche in any way. You got to try to move them along rather than badmouth them if they have a rough outing.
So a double barrel action there in the bullpen. And for now, Sweet will stay in there. Men on the corners, 1 out, a 1-run lead for Florida A&M, but they are looking to add to it here in the 5th. A.J. Elkins. 0 for 2 on the day. He's grounded out to short and then to third base. Catcher Kowalczyk out to make sure the assignments are understood on the infield. Sweet looks in. Down in the dirt. Blocked by Kowalczyk. Ball 1. All the scoring in this one coming in the 2nd inning. 2 in the top half for the Eagles. The Rattlers answering back with 3 in the bottom of the 2nd. Looking for more here, and the fly ball to left field. McCrory gets after it. McCrory there to make the catch. The sacrifice fly will plate Gibbs, And it'll be a 2-run lead for the Rattlers here in the 5th.
Really good job of hitting there by Elkins, trying to find something that he could elevate, get it up in the air so that he could maybe hit into the gap, but worst case scenario, drive in a run from third base. No question.
So with 2 down now and an insurance run in, Ryan Kennedy still at first base as Michael Birdsong will step up to the plate. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Had a single in his last at-bat. That came with 2 outs in the 3rd inning.
It's gone the other way both times in his at-bats, and now with a guy on first base, that makes that hole between first and second even bigger. If he decides he wants to shoot it that way one more time. Look at the gap between the second baseman and the first baseman holding the runner on.
Went 2 for 4 with an RBI last week in the 3-2 loss to Auburn. Watches that one in the dirt again. Kowalczyk with a good block. 90 pitches now from Sweet. Like to get out of this inning. And with 2 down, like to bear down on Song here. Finish off the 5th. Pitch from Sweet just outside, 2-0. Chopper foul.
Now, you and I should have done a little bit better homework as far as tracking down someone who could snag us one of the baseball caps from both of these clubs. Good looking hats that they wear. Wouldn't mind having one of those.
Hat is distinctive, to be sure. I love that Eagles logo on the North Carolina Central uniform. The hat there you see on Sweet as he looks in here. 2-1 pitch.
Fashion police might be out questioning the A&M uniforms because they do have the sweet orange on their uniforms, but you know you're supposed to match your belt and your shoes, and they're wearing black shoes, not orange.
So would you go then with the black belt, or should they be going orange shoes? What are you recommending here?
Probably the black belt and the black shoes might be a better idea. Maybe just mixing in a little color there though with the orange belt.
Miami Dolphins look to it all though.
Yep.
At that Florida tropical feel. So another walk there issued by Sweet will mean 2 on with 2 out for Brian Davis.
Jamie Shoup came out and had a couple words there for Davis before he goes to the plate. Not sure what that conversation was about. Not going to be dropping down a bunt or anything in this situation.
And he won't be seeing Devin Sweet. The pitching change will be made here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th. 1 run in. And with a 4-2 lead, Florida A&M will get into the bullpen here. It'll be Blake Morgan coming in relief, and as Morgan comes in, we'll head to break. The open house continuing here at Fenway Park in our showcase game as Florida A&M University leading North Carolina Central University 4-2. Welcome back to Fenway Park here. Sox on the road tonight. Adam and Hall of Famer Jim Rice are with you at 6. They get you ready for the pitch down in Baltimore. Red Sox trying to build a little momentum off that 7-5 win last night. Brock Holt with a big blow, the 3-run home run, that 4-4 tie. Red Sox and Orioles tonight from Camden Yards on Nesson. Meantime, college baseball continuing here, and Blake Morgan coming in for his 17th appearance of the season. He's thrown 25 2/3 innings.
The left-hander is a freshman this year. He throws 85 to 87, so he's not rushing it past you. The fastball, decent curve to go with it.
And so the lefty reliever coming in here with 2 outs in the 5th inning, and we'll have a pinch hitter to face him. That'll be Taylor Strauss. The infielder, the sophomore here, heading for the designated hitter, Brian Davis, who is over 2. Time called as Strauss will step out. Strauss has speed and has as a pinch runner and pinch hitter for this team throughout the season. Ball 1 from Morgan as he comes out high and outside. Strauss hitting .243 on the season, driven in 4 runs, scored 7 of his own. Morgan will walk that off, have a little conversation with himself, and now peer in after he just missed there. It's a 2-0 count to Strauss. 3-0 now the count.
Good discipline right there by Strauss. You know he's sitting on one pitch in one location, but it's hard to have that pitch recognition at an early age to not go fishing after a bad pitch when you're sitting on one that you really want and you don't get it.
A 4-pitch walk issued here to load the bases. So Blake Morgan comes in and walks the pinch hitter Strauss to load him up. And now the catcher, Jeremy Barlow, will step up with a chance to do something here with the bases loaded and 2 outs.
Barlow's the guy that started for this A&M team when he doubled off the left center field wall, and might have another pitching change right away.
And sure enough, we will have that pitching change. So Morgan comes in to face one batter. He walked Strauss. That will end his day. And now, as the door opens and we get Kyle Shields coming in, we'll take a break. So bases loaded, 2 outs. Florida A&M with a 2-run lead, looking to open here in the 5th. Back here at Fenway Park, today's open house presented by Nexium 24 Hour features college baseball between 2 historically black colleges, Florida A&M University and North Central University. Throughout the day, fans have the chance to walk around the park, discover behind-the-scenes locations, and learn more about the 103-year-old ballpark's history by following the Fenway Park A Living Museum, plaques, displays, and historical markers. Coming in for his 18th appearance this season, Kyle Shields. The right-hander will be in to face Jeremy.
I see the numbers there with the innings pitched and how many hits allowed. That's just way too many. A lot of times if you see a guy with 21 innings and he's given up 21 hits, you're a little bit worried. There's a hit an inning. He's given up 10 more than that. So that's why that ERA is sky high at almost 7.
Barlow had that double in the 2nd inning you mentioned, Steve. They got it all started and also had the best reaction of the day for any hitter.
Kind of a hang and break, and knocks it off the wall and says yes.
And so he will come up now to face the right-hander Kyle Shields. Tom Karen, Steve Lyons with you here at Fenway Park as we bring you the historically black college showcase game between Florida A&M and North Carolina Central University, part of the open house here that is brought together by the Red Sox with Mayor Marty Walsh and the city of Boston, an outcropping of the Boston Area Church League that was originally formed by the Red Sox in 2002 along with late Mayor Thomas Menino. Club bringing up from the South 2 baseball teams from historically black colleges to play at Fenway Park. Also having a college showcase with some 25 historically black colleges from all over the eastern seaboard. High school students from Boston and all over New England had the chance to walk through that college open house, learn more about these great schools. Meantime, on the diamond, Florida A&M trying to finish off 3 games. They took 2 in the doubleheader from North Carolina Central yesterday, leading by 2 here. That's a called strike. As Shields came in and just caught part of the plate. Fouled off.
You kind of think of the turnaround a little bit when you're talking about these 2 colleges, historically black. They are not all black universities anymore, clearly, as you watch Barlow at the plate there. But think about some of the earlier players that played, some of the first white players that came to these schools, a little bit, kind of pioneers in their own right.
Barlow stepping in here against Shields. There's the 0-2 pitch from Shields. Outside. By the way, Shields, I love this, wears number 37, the pitcher for North Carolina Central, in honor of Nuke LaLoosh, the character, the pitcher in Bull Durham. And he came to play at North Carolina Central because to play at the stadium where Bull Durham was filmed. Big fan of that movie and that stadium. Wants to be his own Nuke LaLoosh. Maybe just a little more control.
You hope.
Nuke LaLoosh made it to the bigs in the movie, though.
You don't want to hit the mascot.
No, you don't want to do that. And hopefully his catcher's not going to give away what he's throwing here on this next pitch, because the bases are loaded with 2 outs. Shields looking in. The 2-2. Ground ball to short. Ties it up with it over to second in time. The force will end the inning. And A&M leaves the bases loaded in the 5th. So we head to the 6th inning. The Rattlers had a run, and the Eagles come to bat down by 2. Back here at Fenway Park, Florida A&M leading 4-2 with North Carolina Central coming up here in the top of the 6th. We are joined by the commissioner of the MEC, Dr. Dennis Thompson. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for having this event here up in Boston. How's it been these last couple of days?
This has been absolutely fantastic. It's been, for lack of a better word, Kodak moments.
Yeah, lots of them.
And our student athletes, this is a lifetime experience for them. I can hear them now telling their grandkids about, one time back in 2015, I played at Fenway Park and I
put a dent in the wall with it.
And then the kid that hit the home run.
Yep.
Man, that's just absolutely tremendous.
He was grinning from ear to ear after second base. Couldn't believe it. His feet weren't hitting the ground.
Yeah, so this is tremendous for both institutions, Florida A&M and North Carolina Central. I have to really commend the Boston Red Sox and the city of Boston for and all the ancillary kinds of groups that were involved in making this a success, because it truly has been. And students, the city of Boston students, to historically black colleges and universities, and what we have to offer. It is a significant event for us.
Yeah.
And this is great.
You've been instrumental on the football side of getting some national exposure, as Triplett again sends this one up, and it is gone. Wow. Second home run of the day for Christian Triplett. He was grinning ear to ear. He's slowing down to enjoy this one a little bit more here in the 6th inning as he brings the Eagles back within 1.
Wow, that just doesn't happen. Are you kidding me? This can't have a better day.
Triplett with a couple of trips around the base paths here at Fenway Park. His 5th home run of the season, his 2nd of the day. That's a swing tailor-made for Fenway, Steve.
I'm talking, these are no doubters, too. That's a short, quick path to the ball, and those balls are waffled out there. That thing went way into the monster seats.
Here with Dr. Dennis Thomas, the commissioner of the conference. I was saying before, you've been instrumental in creating some big events for your schools and your conference on the football side. A little harder to get those kind of events on the baseball side, as we've got good speed here from as he stretches out the double. But why is this event important to the conference, and what can this do to sort of raise the exposure of the conference and your institutions?
Yes, it gives us another recruiting tool as well to expose young minority men that, hey, you have an opportunity in baseball. As we all know, once upon a time we had tremendous black baseball players. Matter of fact, Florida A&M, Andre from Florida A&M, and Hal McRae from Florida A&M, and Marquise, Grissom is Florida A&M, along with Vince Coleman. So it's a history here, but this adds to another quiver, if you will, in your socket there that will allow our coaches to go out and recruit and motivate minorities to come back to baseball.
Yeah, I think in the major leagues today, I think the African-American players only make up about 6% of the players that are playing in the big leagues. So you definitely need the interest back.
Absolutely, and I think that this is one of the things that are being done. Major League Baseball is involved as well, and we're trying to do some things in the MEAC to American males back involved with baseball, because obviously football and basketball is the attractive sports right now.
Now, I know that you were certainly smart enough to make this trip yourself. You weren't staying home.
Absolutely, and this is a branding opportunity, another marketing opportunity for both institutions and the conference to take advantage of it.
So as we have a pitching change, we'll stay here. Continue our conversation. And the Red Sox in the city of Boston, not only having the game here today, but they've kind of laid out the red carpet for you, haven't they? It was a great pregame ceremony, and a lot of people got to be a part of that. So, as you said, not just the players coming away with memories of these couple of days, but you've got a lot of people involved who are going to come away with memories of a lifetime. Yeah,
absolutely, Tom. I just think that the city of Boston, what impresses me most when I walked in the stadium here is that I saw a confluence of all races here.
Yeah.
And I said, wow. I said, this is cool. And they're enjoying the game. And this is a family day, great weather, and you bring the family out and enjoy two collegiate teams playing. Now that, to me, and they are exposed to Florida A&M and North Carolina Central University, where they've not been exposed before.
And the college open house going downstairs. So you've got a number of historically black colleges and universities maybe opening some doors for people, and I keep saying opening some eyes for kids up here in the north who say, you know what, there might be another option for me. That's an important role in all this, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the college fair, it was important with all the institutions meeting with high school students and other students and letting them know what opportunities are at our institutions. And I think that's important as well.
Take us through the trip for either of these schools. When did they get up here? What type of events have they been involved in? Have they had enough free time? I know they played a doubleheader yesterday. There was a little snafu in that, but they got it in down in Pawtucket. Right. When will they be heading back? Is there other opportunities that the kids have in the city of Boston?
Well, I think that it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
It's a quick trip. And it's a business trip for the student athletes and coaches, because you don't want to take away the concentration, and this is conference race, conference games, and we have a baseball championships in May, and both of them are nip and tuck here for the championship. So they come in on Thursday, and I'm sorry, Wednesday, and then the game's on Thursday. Play the doubleheader, and then you got to get ready.
Right.
For the next contest.
They're playing 3 games in less than 24 hours, really.
Yeah. And so, I'm sorry, the W was on yesterday, which is Friday, days running together.
No, we understand, trust me. Timothy Reeker, and by the way, the junior. Just to wrap up that, you've got a great conference race going on. So these teams are going to go back. You got the playoffs coming up in a couple of weeks, and it's an exciting time for the conference, isn't it?
Yes, and we have an AQ going into the playoffs, NCAA championships as well. So this has been a tremendous experience for our student athletes. And as I say, thank you guys, and thank everyone associated with this. And I'm going to tell you, the Boston Red Sox organization, you know, just open their arms up.
First class all the way.
Absolutely. So I just can't add some accolades to that, because they made all this happen. We wouldn't be in Fenway Park if they didn't see a value and a need to do this. And the as well, the city of Boston, along with the city council people and others. I'm sure there are others.
As you mentioned, so many organizations had to get together to pull this thing off.
That's
and,
right.
Boy, it's just a great experience for everyone involved.
Well, I want to thank you guys.
Thank you for coming up. It's great to meet you, and enjoy the quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Good luck with the playoffs.
And thank you.
All right. Thank you. That's Dr. Dennis Thomas with us. He is the commissioner of the MEAC, and this is a tie game. Base hit from Tyson into right field. That'll bring in Kimber, and we're all tied up at 4 here in the top of the 6th. So the pitching change with Rieker coming in, and the base hit now from Tyson, his first hit of the game. He's 1 for 2, and that'll be the game-tying RBI here in the top of the 6th.
Pretty much classic baseball right out of NCC. We're talking about getting the guy to second base, getting him over, and then driving him home.
Home run, a nice part of that classic baseball, too. You get the leadoff homer.
That's a good way to start it.
All tied up now at 4 apiece as Jake Cagle will step up for his 3rd at-bat of the game. Timothy Rieker Jr. is the reliever on the mound now.
This is what we had talked about before with A&M, how many guys that come out of that pen that are sidewinders, submarine specialists, guys that are throwing from all kinds of different angles.
Was it Chad Bradford in Oakland? He's got a little look that, you know, not just sidearm, but the whole body kind of twisting for the delivery.
His knuckles would almost rub on the ground before he let it go.
Can be tough to pick up, and it takes a call strike there, the number 9, Cagle. Looking for his first hit of the season, 0 for 2 today with a strikeout to end the 2nd inning. Round out to 2nd to end the 4th.
Tyson did a nice job of hanging in there and driving the ball the other way, and he's off.
And he steals a base here. Throw goes out into center field. Tyson trying to advance to 3rd. The throw not in time. So now the go-ahead run just 90 feet away on the stolen base from Tyson, and advancing to 3rd. On the errant throw.
Well, they're just starting to play really aggressive baseball now, trying to force the action a little bit. You get a bad throw from the catcher. Nobody's able to really knock it down. Sometimes you look at the second baseman, Wong, and you say, man, you got to make sure you knock that ball down so it doesn't get into center field so the guy gets an extra base. But that throw was taking him right back into the runner. You can't fault him too much for not going in there to try to get it.
Going to have a discussion out on the mound, and we will have a pitching change. So Rieker will come out, and we will take a break and come back and tell you about the pitching change right after this. Nesson is looking for youth baseball and softball teams to be a live studio audience for Clubhouse on select Sundays this season. Visit NessonClubhouse.com and click on Studio Audience to enter your team. The experience includes a pizza party before and a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be an active part of the studio audience. Nesson Clubhouse will be coming your way tomorrow at noon before our pregame coverage of Red Sox and Orioles baseball from Camden Yards. Meantime, here, college baseball at Fenway Park. 3rd pitcher of the inning, Brendan Fleming, now coming in, the right-hander, and again another sidearm delivery as he comes in. Fleming is a ground ball pitcher. Keeps his fastball down in the zone when he's on. So with a man on 3rd base and just 1 out here.
I think it's really interesting.
Infield in.
Yeah, they've had a bunch of different guys really kind of mess around with their arm angles and try different things. You got back-to-back sidewinders coming in. He said a lot of them are out of the pin just strength. Oh, there's a squeeze play.
Try the squeeze. Foul.
But some of his guys out of this bullpen just don't have the extra velocity to throw it by guys, so they've been constantly looking for ways to trick guys, mess around with the release points, make it a little bit tougher to pick up the ball.
So Cagle trying to drop the squeeze ball there. 2-2 the count now. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Fleming able to come in and get the strikeout. Get the final 2 strikes of the strikeout.
Cagle doesn't even know how many strikes are on him there.
Well, the pitching change in the middle of the at-bat will kind of mess up your rhythm a little bit. He had 1 strike on him when they made the pitching change after Tyson advanced to third on the steal in the error.
Last I checked, you don't get to start over just because they changed pitching.
You should, though. You're the hitter. It's not your fault. You can't throw 2-3 different guys at me. It takes the whole bullpen to get me out.
It was his fault for trying to swing at that pitch.
Well, there's some truth to that. 2 down now. Go ahead, run 90 feet away. Mitchell McCrary, the leadoff hitter at the plate. McCrary 0 for 3 on the day. Reach on an error to the first baseman back in the 5th inning. Got as far as third base, but was stranded there.
Well, this will be a little bit easier for McCrary with the ball coming into him instead of away from him like it was to Jake Cagle. That's a tough guy to face, and you could see the pitch that he swung at where it's hard to pick up the ball and where it is. Lefties tend to have a little bit better time picking up the delivery of a submarine ball pitcher when you're hitting left-handed and the pitcher's right-handed.
Junior out of Atlantic Beach, Florida. 1-1 pitch, ripped foul on the third baseline.
Oh, lucky souvenir baseball for somebody down the line there.
A scavenger hunt now.
Yeah, I think the other kid already picked it up.
Maybe there's one laying around from last time.
He's got Wally with him.
You never know.
Oh, there's another
again,
one.
this one comes down the third baseline.
I got it.
He's got it. Paid the price. Went in hard against the seat. Again, the 1-2 pitch coming up here to McCrary. Fleming just inside as McCrary spins away. 2-2 the count. Fleming worked 2 scoreless innings in the game against Auburn. Pick up just 1 hit. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts for Fleming. And the Eagles strand the go-ahead run at third base. But the second homer of the game for Christian Triplett, an RBI from Tyson, tie the game at 4.
It's not Major League Baseball, obviously, but it's a Major League park. And, you know, not many people get the opportunity to do that, whether they're, you know, just coming and watching a game or playing a game or, you know, actually make it to the pros. So it's a big excitement. You know, I couldn't be more excited for it.
Excitement is the word of the day. And that excitement now, as we go to the bottom of the 6th, transitions to trying to win a game. You got a game-tying run there from NC Central on the base hit for Tyson. So 4-4 our score heading into the bottom of the 6th. Now you see it's a little less wide-eyed looking around the ballpark. You start to see the competitive juices flowing here in a tie game.
Yeah, and they understand what this game means to both clubs. So time's running out on them too.
You're going to have great memories of this day no matter what, but those memories are going to be a little better if you win.
Yeah.
Always are.
Unless you're Christian Triplett, too.
He's got good memories no matter what. He's coming out of here with a 2-home run day at least. Peter Jackson leading off now. 0 for 1 on the day, but he walked and scored a run back in the 2nd inning, part of a 3-run inning for the Rattlers. Kyle Shields in there after getting the last out of the 5th inning. Misses there, so a 2-0 count.
Now you're talking about the memories of Fenway Park and how sweet they would be if you win this game. It brings to mind the poetic words of Nuke LaLoosh. Winning is like way better than like losing.
Way better. Way better than like losing. Misses on the 3-0 pitch, so a 4-pitch walk to Jackson, who walks for the 2nd time today. And that'll bring up Jared Walker here with nobody down in the 6th inning. Walker, the big offensive star in yesterday's doubleheader sweep. The first game 4 for 5 with 3 RBIs. Second game he went 3 for 3. And we'll have another pitching change, it looks like, here as Walker steps up to the plate. And North Carolina Central will make that move, as Shields will come out after walking the leadoff batter here in the 6th inning. And it'll be Jonathan Figueroa coming in when we return. Tonight, after our Red Sox coverage, tune into NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. Nikki and Jameson recap today's open house here at Fenway. Post-game reaction from the Red Sox at Camden Yards against the Orioles. A preview of Game 4 between the Celtics and the Cavs tomorrow. It's all tonight after our Red Sox coverage. And a new pitcher here in the 6th inning, as Jonathan Figueroa will come in for his 11th appearance of the year. See his numbers on the season: 2.52 ERA, 35 and 2/3 innings, so a bit of a longer reliever out of the bullpen here.
And this is a guy who clearly it hasn't come back to bite him too much with that ERA, 2.52, but he's got walks as he does strikeouts, so putting a lot of guys on base, and he's wiggling his way back out of the jams.
And you got a jam here with a leadoff runner aboard, Peter Jackson, who walked for the 2nd time today. And you got the top of the order coming up, Jared Walker, who's walked twice today himself, has scored a run on a wild pitch back in the 2nd inning. Looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 1, grounded to first in his last at-bat. Back in the 4th inning. Tie game here in the bottom of the 6th. North Carolina Central tying it with 2 in the top half of the inning. Walker drops a bunt, and he fouls it back up into the screen.
Peter Jackson on first base has been a leadoff hitter at times as well. Now with Walker leading off, that's why he hits him 9th, because it's almost like having back-to-back leadoff hitters in a situation like we're seeing right now.
Jared Walker leading the team in average 364, but everyone on the A&M side talking about his bunting ability. He will bunt for a hit at any time, not just bunting in a sacrifice situation. So often at the college level, that play is the first baseman coming down the line. It's a tough play for the second baseman to get over. And with Walker's speed, he's willing to get in that foot race with the second baseman. I'm betting I can get to that bag before you get there in position to receive the ball.
Yep, too many responsibilities for the second baseman over there that he has to worry about. You don't want to have to worry about the speed of the runner. See him cheat towards a little bit more.
He drops the bunt. The pitcher able to field it, and that'll throw it over. So more of a sacrifice bunt there with the tie game here in the 6th. You move the runner along. Put him into scoring position for Alec Wong. 1 down here in the 6th.
Alec Wong has come through in this game with guys on base. 2nd inning, he got a base hit that scored 2, and now he's got another chance to drive someone in.
A 2-run single in the 2nd inning, the big hit of the game for A&M. Wong's got some power, 3 home runs on the season. And here he rips one to left field, base hit. That'll move the runner to 3rd. Quick in, well done by McCrary. And 2 for 4 now on the day. And men on the corners for Marlon Gibbs.
Wong doesn't waste any time. He likes to go up there hacking, and he's got a controlled swing, just dumps this one into left field. We all know from hanging around this ballpark that it's pretty tough to score from second base on a base hit to left field in Fenway Park.
Marlon Gibbs, a preseason first-team all-conference selection team leader with 27 RBI on the season. He's 1 for 2. a double and then scored later on a sacrifice fly from A.J. Elkins in the 5th inning. Chance here with men on the corners to open up this game again. Figueroa looks to third, then fakes back to first. Something you won't see at the major league level anymore.
Nope.
Something you also won't see at the major league level anymore here at Fenway Park is somebody wearing number 42 at the plate. A number that's been retired of Major League Baseball in honor of Jackie Robinson.
Last person to wear it, of course, Mariano Rivera, who wore it in tribute to Jackie Robinson. That's why he was allowed to continue to do it. Another one of those guys was Mo Vaughn.
To wear it for the Red Sox? I believe he was. Butch Husky? I didn't come up with that. Someone in the truck just said it.
Yeah.
Ryan Zaccello, producer extraordinaire, collector of random trivia, helping us out here. Also wants us to point out today is the anniversary of Drew Bledsoe being drafted by the New England Patriots. Z still upset that Drew Bledsoe is not the quarterback of the Patriots today. The only man in New England still harboring those sentiments. Most of us pretty happy with the way things worked out.
He doesn't. Z doesn't like the championships.
He's a loyal guy. We appreciate that. Gets the strike on the outside corner here. 2-1 the count. Wong moving into scoring position there. So now men on second and third with your RBI leader at the plate. Figueroa looking in. The 2-1. Gets to the corner there as well. 2-2. Outfielder out of Orange Park, Florida. 5'9", 185 pounds.
Been a seesaw game today with seemingly both teams taking advantage.
That one gets away. Jackson coming in with a go-ahead run. And again, Florida A&M reclaims the lead. Now 5-4 here in the 6th.
Thought early in this game, you thought A&M had the momentum going, and then storming back comes North Carolina Central, and now it's turning back around again.
Chance for Gibbs to add to the lead. Wong at third. Here's the pitch just inside. It's ball 4. And for the 3rd time today, Gibbs reaches safely. Now the Rattlers' home run leader, Ryan Kennedy, coming to the plate. Tom Carroll and Steve Lyons with you here at Fenway Park. A day-long open house rolling till 6 o'clock tonight. Fans getting to see virtually all corners of the park, from the clubhouse to the batting cages to the press box upstairs. Walking around the inside part of it, the family area, the kids concourse, very popular today with lots of kids here at the ballpark. And then getting to grab a seat for a couple of innings and watch some baseball here. This historically black college showcase game between A&M and NCCU, and a pitching change here in the 6th inning. We will take a break and come back as Andrew Vernon comes in to take the mound for the Eagles.
It's definitely, you know, once in a lifetime type thing. You know, college students don't really get the, you know, opportunity to say they played at Fenway Park. So for me, I'm very grateful that me and my teammates actually get to experience it firsthand.
Jared Walker talking about the experience here today. Jared Walker had the sacrifice bunt here in the 6th inning, part of the inning that has seen Florida A&M retake the lead, and is seeing another pitcher come in, 3rd pitcher of the inning. It is Andrew Vernon coming in here. Vernon making his 22nd appearance. That leads the team in relief appearances. 3 wins, 5 losses, averaging nearly 2 innings an appearance. So again, a guy who will come in and can stay in. Same thing would have been for Figueroa there, but he ran into trouble quickly. So after the single and the walk, Figueroa's day is over. And Vernon gets a chance.
Vernon's a big kid with a little extra giddy up on his fastball. He'll rush it up there around 92, 93 with a good slider and curve.
2 on, 1 out, 1 run in. A&M with a 1-run lead, looking to break it open here in the 6th inning. Ryan Kennedy stepping up to the plate. 0 for 2 today with a walk. 5 homers leads the Rattlers, 24 RBIs, second most on the team. They check Gibbs first. Called strike. Curveball gets Vernon ahead of Kennedy, 0-1 here. Fastball, 0-2 count now to Kennedy. As you said, Vernon, a little more velocity to the mound than some of the guys we've seen today.
Gonna have to get yourself ready just a little quicker as a hitter.
Checks to third base, but does not throw.
Now that move really works well when the guy on first base is attempting a steal, because he's going to go on your first move.
Fouled off. Kennedy stays alive. North Carolina Central coming into this game had the lowest ERA in the conference, 4.07. That has gradually climbed, though, over the 6-game losing streak. They try to put an end to that. They need to come from behind again to do it here. As again, Vernon takes over to third and looks back to first. Here's the 0-2. This is outside. Kowalczyk down in the dirt to make the block. Sixth inning action here at Fenway Park. Florida A&M University, a 5-4 lead over North Carolina Central. Andrew Vernon with the pitch. Just misses down low.
Kennedy's seen some tough pitches in this at-bat, a couple called strikes that he didn't agree with. That could have gone either way.
Missing inside, and no, he gets the inside corner. Called third strike there. For a moment, Kennedy stood there, didn't believe it, but Gibbs able to steal second on the throw, but a strikeout and a big one there for Vernon.
Kennedy thinks this one goes around the plate, and I would tend to agree with him. He saw 3 called strikes in this at bat, and he didn't agree with 1 pitch. Not happy about it.
So 2 outs now for A.J. Elkins, who's 0 for 3 on the day, but a sacrifice fly scored Marlon Gibbs back in the 5th inning. Elkins now hitting .243 on the season. That sacrifice fly, his 14th RBI of the season. His Rattlers up by a run. 2 runners in scoring position. A chance to open that up a bit. As he takes the ball there, 1-1 the count.
Yeah, they had the chance to really kind of blow this one open here with runners on base. Starting to slip away from him.
It'll take a 2-out opportunity for Elkins. That one gets away from Kowalczyk, and walking in from third will be Wong. He scores and makes it a 2-run lead once again for the Rattlers.
So those are the types of mistakes that you see at a college level game. This wasn't a tough play. He just didn't catch it. That ball wasn't in the dirt. It's just a teeny little lapse in concentration if you're a catcher behind the plate, and that's what can happen to you. You just can't have that when there's a guy on third base.
3 of the 6 A&M runs today have come on either a wild pitch or a passed ball, and that's another one that gets by, and this time Gibbs will slide in ahead of the throw. A 3-run inning now, and the biggest lead of the game for the Rattlers.
How many times you see anything like that happen? Back-to-back guys scoring on pitches that get to the wall behind home plate. That one just got airmailed up above everybody. Rattlers aren't shy about trying to score from third. If that happens, they're going.
All 3 runs this inning have come with a man scoring from third on a ball that got to the backstop either by wild pitch or passed ball. And a walk here will put Elkins on with 2 outs and keep this inning going with Michael Birdsong coming up.
Elkins didn't have to worry about doing anything. You're not swinging at a bunch of wild usually.
Just had to get out of the way of 2 runs being scored.
Yeah, slide.
Michael Birdsong is 1 for 2, now hitting .270 on the season. Had a single in the 3rd inning, walked in the 5th. Takes strike 1 here in the 6th. Gets out of the way that one. Count evens up at 1 apiece. Back in March, North Carolina Central sweeping a 3-game series from A&M, outscoring Florida A&M 17-2 over the weekend. Different story here this weekend up north. Birdsong fouls that off.
Birdsong wanted to join Triplett on the home run competition right there. He was looking to go bridge.
Okay, Ed.
Yeah.
Make some iron if you go.
Stealing it.
A&M with a 6-3 and a 3-1 win yesterday. Now with a 7-4 lead. Play over to first. Triplett up, and he'll throw to the pitcher Vernon, who just did touch the bag, says the first base umpire Charles Bruce. A&M folks don't agree, but they'll take 3 runs as they open up their biggest lead of the game. It's 7-4 as we head to the 7th here at Fenway. Close play at first, but the close game has now been broken open by the Rattlers. Here at Fenway Park, Florida A&M University has taken a 7-4 lead, but Christian Triplett has enjoyed his day at the Fens. A 2-run homer in the 2nd inning and a solo shot in the 6th. He'll always remember this day at America's most beloved ballpark, as he has gone deep up into the monster seats, actually one time hitting the pole, the Fisk pole as opposed to the pesky pole. A little more of a challenge to hit the Fisk pole. Got to get it up a little higher.
Yeah.
A little bit further.
And he just crushed that 2nd one. It's out of any ballpark.
And so now Devin Sweet, who's the starting pitcher today, but since he's also the designated hitter, he stays in there on the offensive side. Sweet into the game with the best batting average on the team. He's 1 for 2 today with a sacrifice bunt. Rips this one foul down the right side. Top of the 7th here at Fenway Park in Boston. Florida A&M with a 7-4 lead over North Carolina Central. This is the historically black college showcase game at Fenway. An effort by the city of Boston and the Boston Red Sox to bring 2 historically black colleges here for a showcase baseball game and to give those programs the opportunity to play at Fenway Park, but to also give people here in Boston and New England a little exposure to some of these great universities that we may not hear much about up north.
There's about 60 colleges in and around Boston. Some of those you don't hear much about.
Devin Sweet with a base hit to the left side. Falls in just ahead of Gibbs, and Sweet gets his second base hit of the day. Try to get something here in the 7th. And that'll bring up Carlos Ortiz, the MEAC's home run leader with 9 on the season, but he's 0 for 3 today. 3 fly ball outs. Little Poppy, number 34, the left-handed hitter at Fenway. Takes the ball outside.
He's trying to work the Big Poppy beard and everything.
A little less bling at the plate, though.
And Poppy's got his own personal groomer, too, so his beard's always perfect.
Il Montreux not traveling with NC Central?
Yeah, no.
One pitch. Chopper to Wong at second. He'll go to first to get Ortiz. Sweet advances to second base, but 1 down here in the 7th.
Surprised that Wong didn't try to cut that lead runner down at second base. Sweet had to stop and wait for the ball to go past him. Usually if you're the second baseman, pretty good indication you can still get it. Watch him stop. Now he could probably just pivot and take the out at second if he wanted to. He decided just to go the easy route.
So 1 down now as Thompson will step up to face Brandon Fleming. Ball 1 to Thompson. Thompson 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. He scored on Christian Triplett's first home run of the day. Chopper back to the mound. Fleming make the catch and throw it over to first. 2 down. Sweet to third base on the play. Now the hottest hitter of the day, Christian Triplett, will step up to the plate after play from the pitcher Fleming to retire Thompson. Triplett is 3 for 3, a 2-run homer in the 2nd, a base hit in the 4th, and a solo homer in the 6th. Swing and a miss. Thinking for the hat trick there.
Yeah. You know, it's easy to kind of look back with 20/20 hindsight, but as we talked about before, that play with Wong at second base, had he taken the lead out at second, that last play would have been a double play ball, and now you're out of the inning.
Fleming will catch the outside corner there, so he's quickly ahead of Triplett 0-2. Outside, ball 1.
You know, if there's one player that somehow made the team charter back down south, it's going to be Triplett. So why would I leave this place?
Fouls that one off. Upset with himself. Thought he had a pitch to make it 3 homers on the day.
Yeah, I've seen some good pitches to hit, that's for sure. You're not missing many of them.
Fleming looks in, outside, 2-2 the count. Fleming, the 3rd pitcher of the day for A&M. '25th pitch. Fleming is outside. It'll be a full count.
If Triplett sees one here that he likes, we might be able to feel the wind of his swing all the way up here.
Here's the pitch. Triplett fouls it off again. Stays alive.
You know, what I like about this kid is that for a big guy, he's very short and compact with his swing. Not a huge follow through, quick to the ball.
Devin Sweet at 3rd. Triplett grounded to short. Elkins up with it, across in time to retire the inning, and Birdsong is fired up. He spikes it to the ground. They finally retired Triplett as the Rattlers take their 3-run lead into the bottom of the 7th. More autograph signings here at the open house.
Oil Can
Dennis
Boyd.
Oil Can Boyd. Signing some autographs and taking some photos with some young Red Sox fans here. Is Ted Lupica there as well. Fans of all ages taking advantage of the open house today, walking through the ballpark. And
thank you so much. Good to see you back in Fenway.
there's Billy Canigliaro signing a few autographs. You know, one of the neat things is the way fans are sort of exploring the ballpark, grab a hot dog, sit down, watch 2 of the game, go get an autograph, come back out. You know, it's not a crowd that has sat here for the whole game, except if you look right next to the Florida A&M dugout, there is a group of fans with orange hats and orange shirts. These people have clearly traveled with the team. And you've got a fan section here cheering on every moment of the game, and they like what they've seen so far today with Florida A&M leading here 7-4. They came here to see a baseball game as well as an open house. Joining us now is Dr. Charles Steinberg, Executive Vice President, Special Assistant to the President and CEO. What a fun here at the ballpark.
You know, it really is. It reminds me of a Cape Cod League game, but only at Fenway. People are just walking around at their leisure, having a hot dog, changing seats, seeing different points of view, and watching a pretty interesting ball game.
That's what I was saying before. You know, you go in and get an autograph, you grab a hot dog, you sit down and watch an inning or two, then you go back and look at the dugout and the clubhouse. One of the fun things about that, Steve before said, should call it all access, because an open house gives a feeling that you can come into the ballpark. You've really opened up every corner of this ballpark.
Well,
today.
right. That was the point. It was that, you know, when you come to a ball game, you're on a mission. You arrive, you have your rituals, you get to your seat, you watch the ball game. But you don't always get to just walk around at your leisure and savor the nooks and crannies of the ballpark, or see the degree to which I think we lead the league in bronze plaques. Stories of where elephants literally walked at Fenway Park. So it's a way for families to the venue without the urgency, without the pressure and the excitement that that a ball game normally provides. But we got a good ball game today.
Now, Dr. Charles, I don't know if people really realize how the perspective of the game has changed. The way Red Sox fans watch a game and how it's presented to them since you came to this organization a number of years ago, and then left for a little while, worked for the Dodgers. Was working, and everything changed out there for the better, and now back here again.
Well, thanks. I don't know that it really has to do with me as much as we're baseball fans. You know, we love the game, and I think that when we all arrived, I don't know better baseball fans, to tell you the truth, than John Henry, who was very instrumental in how we redesigned what was on the scoreboard.
Yep.
Tom Werner, gosh, if you watch a ball game with him, you sure better hope we're winning. He is a tough, intense fan, and Lucchino's reputation is widely known. So we're all fans. Sam Kennedy was on before. You know, we love a reason to come to the ballpark.
Jeremy Barlow, fly ball to right field. It'll be Thompson there to make the catch. I also want to ask you, in 2002, when you came in as an organization, you were very quick, as we look at some of the sights and sounds here today, but you were very quick to take all that is great about the history of the Boston Red Sox, but to also recognize some things that could have been done better over the years. And obviously the last team to bring in a player of color, that was something that you wanted to use as a way to open doors for fans, and ultimately for a game like this to happen today.
Well, there's a story there. And when we were with the San Diego Padres, Larry Lucchino was there, Tom Werner was there, that's where we got to know a nice businessman in San Diego, Frank Jordan, who we worked with on the campaign for a new ballpark. And he was well connected in the African-American business community in San Diego. So now it's time for us to move to Boston. And it's about February of 2002. And he came in to see Larry one day. I was in there. He said, I can help you in Boston. We said, what do you know about Boston? You're San Diego. He goes, no, I was president of the California NAACP, California chapter NAACP. He said, in the civil rights movement, we have relationships all over the place. He said, I can help you in Boston. Well, we, of course, knew nothing anyway, except the reputation. And so when we first arrived, our first opening day was April 1st. About 2 weeks before that, about 2 weeks before that, Howard Bryant had just written his book, Shutout, which was a chronicle of the history that gave the Red Sox a bad reputation in their past in relationships with the African American. And John Henry walked down the hall right in our offices here. We had just gotten back from spring training, and he waved the book at me. And he said, it's our job to turn this around, our job to change this. When you have a mandate from your principal owner, it gives you such wind at your back.
Yeah.
So
and it better get done.
Well, it better get done, but you know, you don't have to try to convince anybody.
Right.
It's coming from the top of the top. So April 1st, 2002 was our first opening day. It was Monday. Thursday, April 4th, which ironically was the anniversary of the death of Dr. King. We remember Frank Jordan came to town, and he already had assembled for us 7 leaders from the community. And we said, look, we're new, we're here, we want to reach out, and that's where it began, on that Thursday, April 4th. By Sunday, April 7th, I was speaking at a church where they knew I was a visitor. And they did. And I remember it was Good Shepherd Church of God in Christ, and Reverend Hogan, now Bishop Hogan, was officiating. And Deacon Hardy, I remember, greeted me at the door and said, you are welcome here. And when I spoke, I said, you know, I was going to tell you that you're all welcome at Fenway Park, but really, I just want us to model what Deacon Hardy said.
Well, everyone is welcome here today, and it's been free, and it's been great seeing you again, Dr. Charles Steinberg. Yeah. Thank you for coming on.
As always.
My pleasure.
Thank
My
you for this great event here at Fenway Park as we continue heading to the 8th. And we welcome you back here on NESN Plus as we continue here. 8th inning now, so the North Carolina Central Eagles down to their final 6 outs, trailing by 3 runs, with the third baseman Eric Kimber up now to lead off this 8th inning. 1 for 2 on the day. Had a double, scored a run in the 6th inning, walked earlier in the 4th. Brandon Fleming staying on now after pitching a scoreless 7th. He got the final 2 outs of the 6th inning. At a point when the Eagles were starting to make some noise. They scored 2 runs in that inning, but he was able to stop it with the strikeout of Cagle and then retiring McCrary to end the inning. Leadoff single for Devin Sweet. Last inning was for Knott as he was able to retire the heart of the order, Ortiz, Thompson, and Triplett. Triplett retiring for the first time today.
Been pretty impressed with the day that this kid's had too. Kimber, some good defense at third. We talked about that a little bit. They told me he's great when he's going towards the line, and he's also an outfielder.
And he gets one through here as the sliding Elkins unable to make the stop after it got by Kennedy. So a leadoff single for Eric Kimber here in the 8th.
Kimber had been playing a lot in the outfield. Their regular third baseman got an injury. They threw Kimber over there at third and hasn't really wanted to give that position back. He's been spectacular down there.
And the catcher, Kovalchuk. 0 for 1 on the day. He walked in the 2nd inning, a sacrifice bunt in the 6th. Now with Kimber on first, nobody out. Trying to get something going here in the 8th inning, trailing by 3. Ground ball to short. Elkins can't make the play. Was thinking about the double play. It got by him, and now you've got 2 on, nobody out here in the 8th.
Those are the kind of plays that you don't really see that much at the college level. It's kind of a made-to-order double play ball. He just thinks it's going to come up. It stays down on him. He was maybe ready to make that throw before he caught it. Next thing you know, you get nobody out.
Now you'll have a discussion as the tying run coming up to the plate. Third error of the day for the Florida A&M Rattlers.
The smart move right here by Shoup, coming out to talk to everybody about the potential situations that could be in front of them. They may decide to drop a bunt down to move those runners up. Even though they're down by 3, they got to figure out a way to score somehow. He wants to make sure he knows where all his infielders are going to be, or what they're going to, what play they're putting on in case there's a bunt, and then not going all in case he doesn't bunt. You got to make sure you're in position to catch a ball if he's up there swinging.
Trevor Tyson, a hit, a walk, fly ball to right field. Jackson made that sliding play to take a hit away. Nice job by the bat boy down there on the left side. 8-year-old Sam Kerner, son of the head coach Jim Kerner, celebrated his 8th birthday yesterday. Get your body in front of it. That's all right. He still made the play.
Stay with it.
Yeah, stayed with it. Showing everybody I made the play. Didn't get away from me. Who needs a glove?
No. Knock it down, throw him out.
Thinking bunt here, but he fouls it back off. So quickly 2 strikes on Tyson.
Nice, swung away first, then tried to bunt the ball. Now with 2 strikes. Probably got to be swinging away, don't you?
You would think. Called 3rd strike, and Tyson goes down. Big strikeout there for Fleming for the first out of the inning with 2 runners on here in the 8th.
Pretty nasty pitch right on the black there, tough to hit. Watch the location of this. Zip.
We got a pinch hitter now, James Day coming in. Day hitting for Jake Cagle. Day on the season, 86 at-bats. Takes a called strike. Strike 1 to begin the day. Day went 2 for 3 his last game against High Point University last weekend. Charlotte, North Carolina. Outside, count is 1-1.
It's kind of a coin flip for this team as to who's going to catch between Day and Kovalchuk. Day's turn in this ball game, or Kovalchuk's turn, but now Day getting an at-bat late here, the chance to do a little damage.
I heard from Day earlier in the interview yesterday down in Pawtucket, talking about the excitement his team experiencing by being here today, and now he gets an opportunity to be a part of it. Hitting .218 on the season. Slugging percentage just over 600. Rips that one foul. And it'll be a 1-2 count. Fleming gave up a single to Kimmer to start the inning. Kovalchuk reached safely on the error. Now Day out ahead of it. Fouls it off on the right side. Ball is the call there. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts for Fleming here, and there are 2 outs in the 8th inning.
Fleming's got some pretty good stuff. Good movement on his pitches, good late movement, good location.
And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter here. as Mitchell McCrary. But now there are 2 down with 2 on. First 2 hitters in the inning reached safely. Fly ball left field, under it there to catch the liner is Gibbs, and a great job by Fleming after the first 2 runners got aboard. 3 outs and a 3-run lead as the Rattlers come up in the bottom of the 8th. All right, we're here at Fenway Park, bottom of the 8th, with the Florida A&M University Rattlers coming up. Catch an all-new Nesson Clubhouse tomorrow at noon. D'Angelo Ortiz learns some hitting tips from his dad. Shane Victorino takes the hot seat in an all-new Small Talk, and we'll tour Wally's Clubhouse here at Fenway Park. It's all tomorrow at noon on Nesson Clubhouse, presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts. Midwinter clothing here on a late April Saturday at Fenway Park.
Well, I think they said the high was supposed to be around 70 degrees today, but you know, on a day like today, it's 70 for about 4 minutes.
They say 70 today?
Close to it.
Sure you weren't still stuck on Los Angeles?
Yeah,
when you
probably.
looked on the app?
It said on my computer. I was in the wrong town.
52 is about
really?
what we, yeah, mid-50s if we're lucky today.
I did. I clicked on something that said close to 70.
That's why the thin suit. I noticed you got the thin suit going.
Oh, yeah. It's,
look at this. You got
it gets a little chilly up here.
I got a sweater.
Yeah.
Down here, ready to go. You can buy that.
I would have brought my my overcoat, but I thought I'd look ridiculous. But
I'm just trashing Don Orsillo's seat, by the way, throwing stuff everywhere.
It's all right.
He'll be here Monday. He'll be completely upset with what we've done.
We'll write him some notes on the desk.
Bottom of the 8th, and Alec Wong up against Andrew Vernon. Wong's had a nice day. 2 for 4. A couple of RBI and a run scored in the 6th inning. Got a stolen base in there as well. Productive day for the second baseman. Drops a bunt here. Catcher out to play. Throws it and gets it there in time. Kowalczyk, a terrific play. He's able to throw out the speedy Alec Wong, and a good stretch at first by Triplett for the first out of the inning.
This is a gun right here. I thought he was just going to stick this in his back pocket. Wong gets a great jump down the line. You think he's going to beat it, but look at that rifle shot down there. Little stumble by Wong after he wanted to see where the ball was, but he still got down there pretty darn quick.
That'll bring Marlon Gibbs to the plate, and he'll take a ball inside. Gibbs has been on 3 times today. Got a new second baseman here, Corey Williamson, coming in after Day pinch hit for Cagle. Did not go around on the appeal, so it'll be a 2-0 count. Gibbs was hit by a pitch in the first inning, lined out to third base in the second, a double and scored a run in the 5th, and a walk, later scoring in the 6th. Part of a 3-run 6th inning for A&M, all 3 runs scoring when a man on third scored on either a wild pitch or a pass ball. That's catcher's interference. The call there as you see Gibbs trot up the first base line.
We've seen a little bit of everything here. You'll watch as he tries to swing the bat. You reach in there just a little too far and you catch the tip of that bat. Hitter takes his base, catcher gets an error.
And Ryan Kennedy gets to come up with a man on. Swinging at the first offering from Vernon. 0-1 is the count. Kennedy has reached once today, reached base on a walk in the 5th inning. Struck out a couple of times, rips one just foul down a third base line here.
Well, Kennedy, we talked about it all day. He's had a rough day. I mean, he just got abused in his at-bat last time. He took a 3-2 fastball right down the middle for strike 3 in the first inning in his first at-bat, and he's walked. But this is a guy you really kind of want to see him swing the bat. He's got good pop, hitting in the middle of that order. Just hasn't really had a chance to get a pitch to handle.
Gibbs goes and way ahead of the throw for a stolen base. So Gibbs moving into scoring position. Great jump here for Gibbs.
It's almost like he lulled them into thinking he wasn't going. That's almost a stolen base where you don't even have to throw down there. He was going to be safe.
13th stolen base of the year from Marlon Gibbs, in scoring position now for Ryan Kennedy. 1-1 the count for Kennedy. Vernon delivers, missing outside. Florida A&M looking to make it 5 wins in their last 8 games and move 1 win away from clinching a playoff spot, keeping their hopes alive for the division title in the MEAC South. Kennedy fouls it off, stays alive here in the 8th inning. Past 5 o'clock now. The only question is, if the game goes past 6, do they kick everybody out because the open house is over?
No, the game gets to stay.
I'm guessing they will continue the open house until the game is over.
Yeah, let's just all hope it doesn't take that long.
Here's the 2-2. Missing inside, so the count will be full to Kennedy with 1 out and a man on second here in the 8th. Foul ball. That one bounced hard off the chair, back up into the field, and then.
And that's not going to make it
the
back.
The throw from the left fielder will not make it into the seats, so now we've got a ball out there. Let's try that again. Now, is he going to give it to anybody?
This isn't the big leagues.
Well, but your left fielder tried to give it to somebody. Maybe he's already got something in mind.
He's jogging it all the way back in.
There's the pitch on the full count, fouled back up here. Runner was going. As Kennedy fouled it back up, I think over to the radio box over here to the right. You showed no interest in being ready to catch that if it veered back this way at all.
It wasn't close to me.
All right. So you got a good read off the bat?
Oh, yeah. I'm totally ready if it comes anywhere near us.
Appreciate that, because I may not be. Do it again here on the full count. Again, the runner goes. Kennedy, high, far, and gone. A 2-run home run, 6th of the season for Kennedy. And it is now a 5-run lead for A&M.
Well, there's the guy. We talked about it. He's the vocal leader on this team. He's got some of the most power on the ball club. And I just got to the point where, heck, he had such tough at-bats. I wanted to see him get a pitch he could handle and see what he could do with it.
He is some kind of pumped up right now.
He's on fire.
I said it before. A Kennedy doing well in Boston is nothing new. And he's going to enjoy the moment here at Fenway Park as he gives his team a 5-run lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Ooh. Take another look. This one's a no-doubter. As you take a look at the replay, now that pitch came in just now, close to A.J. Elkins.
He threw him out, too.
You take a look at the fired up Kennedy as he rounds the bases. Now that last pitch came in, I thought it actually hit Elkins, but Elkins was able to get out of the way. We saw warnings issued immediately. I'm not sure he's been ejected, though. Let's take a look at the pitch.
Oh, watch the umpire right here. You're out.
I think he's issuing the warnings. I think he warned the pitcher, warned the two dugouts.
You're right.
And you know that's the warnings because both head coaches have come out because nobody likes to get those warnings because now you got a young pitcher pitching in college, ball gets away from him, hit somebody, he might get ejected automatically.
I thought he pointed at him and threw him out, but then he just pointed over to the dugout to say, hey, and you know, that's the smart thing to do. I mean, that was, we just saw Kennedy go crazy. And, you know, sometimes pitchers don't like it when you go that crazy when you hit a home run, whether you're in Fenway Park or not. Next pitch almost hits a guy. You're going to say, hey, if I'm an umpire, I'm taking control of this right now.
Good job by Rick Eckred to get immediate control of that situation, but not overreact. Breaking ball catches the inside corner of the plate there for the second strike. 2-2 the count. That was some kind of celebration, though, by Kennedy.
Did you see on his home run trot coming around third base, did you see what he did?
I did not.
Instead of giving the third base coach a high five, he took a handoff from him. It looked like to me like he comes across a third and he's going to take the handoff and go.
And go for the end zone. I love it. Fired up. Have no idea if he was a Larry Bird fan, but he wears number 33 in Boston. He'll always do well here. Swing and a miss there, so the strikeout from Vernon gets Elkins for the second out of the inning.
Pretty good pitch, outer half, just blew up by him. Well, I guess you see what happens when Kennedy gets a ball he can handle. I was kind of begging for it all day. He finally got one and hammered it.
There's Michael Birdsong. Called strike on the outside corner. Vernon misses there. 1-1 the count. That was the first home run of the day for A&M. Triplett has 2 for NC Central.
Well, it's not like we lacked any offense in this ball game. We saw 3 balls go out of the ballpark.
We said it before, we've seen a little bit of everything in this game. Swing and a miss there, so it'll be 2-2 now to Birdsong with 2 down here in the 8th.
Home runs, lots of runs, couple errors, a balk, catcher's interference.
Couple of catcher's interference.
18 guys scoring on wild pitches.
Not quite 18, but close to. Some serious celebrations.
Yeah.
I thought Triplett had the best celebration. I just thought the best celebration prior to the Kennedy home run was Triplett's spike, or it was actually, beg your pardon, it was Birdsong striking the ball, spiking the ball after they finally retired Triplett for the first time today, and that's a base hit there for Birdsong. But Kennedy getting the better of the celebration competition today. Here's the Birdsong spike earlier as they finally retired. There you go. Yeah.
Got some emotional players on this team, and it's showing up on the scoreboard, too. 9 runs.
But the handoff on 3rd and short and the post-touchdown celebration for Kennedy will steal the day here.
Hell yeah. Kind of like that.
Robbie Jolie here, pinch hitting for Strauss.
These days, everyone's trying to come up with some type of unique celebration. There's been some good ones out there. I've never seen a guy take a handoff coming around 3rd.
Maybe Hanley Ramirez could start doing that. You could hand him his helmet back
as
he comes around 3rd base. You could actually, see, in that case, give him his helmet back.
There you go.
Love that. Love that the coach was part of it. Here you go. Ball outside here as the shadows start to spread out towards the right side of the infield here at Fenway Park.
Well, you and I had talked about that in the pre and post game show about Hanley's helmet, and it never seems to stay on his head. And we kind of said, but if he hits a home run, it'll probably stay on his head. It didn't.
Nope, not last night. Didn't stay on when he threw Machado out at second base either. That was his hat, proving that headgear is overrated. Nice to see the power coming back for the Red Sox last night. The back-to-back homers, Ortiz.
Watch out.
You got a batter hit there.
Now, just because they've been warned doesn't mean that you have to get thrown out. If you hit it, that was a breaking ball. Clearly unintentional.
Good job by the umpire there. No break to the breaking ball. Jolly is aboard, and Barlow, the catcher, coming back up. For the 5th time today, had a double back in the 2nd inning, scored the first run of the game for the Rattlers. A couple of groundouts and a flyout after that. Takes ball 1. Fouled back. 1-1.
Barlow in this game narrowly missing a home run if he hit it high up off the left field monster earlier in this ball game.
That was the double in the 2nd inning. He had a pretty good celebration when he got to second base.
Yes, he did. Well, we've tried to stress all day long the importance of this game for both teams. It's a tough atmosphere to play in because of the joy and excitement of having the opportunity to make a road trip to Boston and play at Fenway Park, but then trying to back away from that and understanding that these games still mean a whole heck of a lot to these guys.
Fouled back again. Vernon's thrown 68 pitches in relief here. Tries to finish off the 8th inning. 2-run home run, breaking it open now. A 5-run lead for Florida A&M, trying to hand North Carolina Central their 7th straight loss. Volchik out to make the stop there. Count is 2-2. Here at Fenway Park in Boston. The first ever HBC showcase game.
Will this be an annual event, you think?
It's a great question. They wanted to see how this one could go.
Have to think they came off with flying success.
A little rally hat action in the A&M dugout here.
They usually all put their hats right back on their head.
Line drive, center field. Ortiz steps back and he makes the catch. Drops it on the transfer, but the inning is over. And so Ryan Kennedy makes his mark in this first ever showcase game. The home run, the touchdown, the celebration, and a 5-run lead. All right, out on Yawkey Way, the open house continuing. Big League Brian having some fun there. All kinds of caricatures and face painting and the Hot Tamales Band. Like any other game here at Fenway Park. Nice hat.
Oh, yeah. Saw a lot of those today.
A little college baseball action here. All smiles in the Florida A&M dugout. And a new pitcher on the mound for the Rattlers is Kenny McDonald, the junior, will step in. Try to finish this one off. He's got a 5-run lead now in the 9th inning. As you said, though, everybody up on the top step down in the dugout, even with a 5-run lead in the 9th inning. These final outs of this experience, they'll be heading back south by the end of the day. Kenny McDonald on the mound. 22nd appearance, 3-1 record, 3.43 ERA, 21 strikeouts and 8 walks.
He is the closer.
21 innings. He's their closer, 5 saves on the season. He's taking no chances here, even with a 5-run lead in the 9th.
They say he has the ability to go 2 or 3 innings if they needed him for that long today. Clearly they did not, but lo and behold, another sidearm guy.
And it'll be Devin Sweet starting off the inning for North Carolina Central. Logan Seymour in right field. And we've got a no third baseman as well, Kendall Weeks. First pitch from McDonald outside. Devin Sweet, the starting pitcher for the North Carolina Central University Eagles today, but he was also his own designated hitter, so he stays in as the DH, as we've said. He's 2 for 3 with a sacrifice bunt today, and he's ahead 2-0. Now hitting .385 to lead the Eagles.
I would think that would lead most teams, wouldn't it?
You would think.
Good .385 average, pretty good.
3-0 count now to Sweet, leading off the 9th. Get a base runner and get something going here for the Eagles. Called strike there.
Well, the guy today who's been really silent for the Eagles has been Little Poppy. Bunch of fly ball outs, a 4-3. That's about it. Haven't seen much out of Mr. Ortiz. We'll get a chance right here.
We'll get a chance of the man on as Sweet draws the walk to lead off the 9th inning here. Here is Little Poppy at his 9 home runs on the season. And for his first hit of the game.
It'll drive your head coach crazy when you've got this kind of a lead and you come out just to shut this ball game down and you walk the leadoff guy.
And ball 1 to Ortiz.
That's the problem with sidearm guys is you can lose your mechanics and your release point quickly.
Catches the corner there, 1-1 the count. Ortiz now 1 for 14 over the last 4 games. He'll be facing a 2-1 count to Kenny McDonald. Center field, fly ball. Walker under it to make the catch, the first out here in the 9th. So an 0 for 5 day for Carlos Ortiz. And Ronald Thompson 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Try to keep the line moving a little bit here in the 9th inning. Now hitting .262 on the season.
Thompson's been one of those guys on this ball club that kind of leads by example. He has some good numbers. He's a good player, but doesn't say a whole lot. He's battled a little bit of a shoulder injury.
Swing and a miss there, so McDonald now ahead 0-2. Barring a double play, Christian Triplett, he of the 2 home runs, will get 1 more at bat. Ball outside. There's Triplett. 2 homers, 3 hits, 3 runs batted in. All in all, a good day. That one bounces away from Barlow. No attempt on Sweet as he gets to second base.
For the rest of this day, Triplett's just going to be begging for someone to ask him, so what'd you do today?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Yeah. Sit down. I got a story for you.
Here, the Green Monster.
I jumped it a couple times.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3.
Boy, they just tied Thompson up in that at-bat. Got in his kitchen quick.
So 2 down here in the 9th inning, and the biggest bat of the day for North Carolina Central gets one more attempt as McDonald looks in at Christian Triplett. Misses inside, ball 1. Swing and a miss. 1-1 the count to Triplett out of Wilkesboro, North Carolina. McDonald wanted it. That's a 2-1 count. Ground ball to short. Elkins up with it across the diamond. The pick made by Kennedy, and the game is over. So Florida A&M University with a 3-game weekend sweep of North Carolina Central and a win here in the first ever HBC showcase at Fenway Park.
All right, for A&M this game, it seemed like they were in control early, then they relinquished a little bit of that momentum, and then late in the game, in the 6th and the 8th inning, they came storming back with 5 runs late to really blow it open.
So the Rattlers can snake their way through the high 5 line here at Fenway Park as they end the day with a 9-4 win. A big day for both teams and both programs, but a big win for Florida A&M as they solidify their hold on a playoff spot in the MEAC Southern Division. For Steve Lyons and all of us here at Nesson, I'm Tom Caron. Thanks so much for watching college baseball from Fenway Park here on Nesson. We'll see you next time.